Hey everyone, it's Nux, and welcome back to another new Super Gaming Squad podcast. It's been a minute as usual, but we're gonna have a smaller crew today because it's a bit of a short notice thing, and the scheduling is obviously super tight lately, especially during the spring summer period. So it's gonna be super busy. So it's gonna be a little harder to assemble the squad, but hopefully we can get a lot of our core members back for the next episode. But we're just going to keep it relatively small today and be focused on a pretty light topic this time. But before we get to the topic, let's introduce our guest. First up is a regular, you know him, the boy Konon.
What's up?
Yes, sir. And we have a newcomer to this specific series, but you've already seen him in some previous videos. He's guest starred in a few live reactions and stuff. Say hello to the homie Andrés, aka Zel.
Hello, y'all. It's me, 𝗧𝗂𝗶𝗰. I'm here. First time, kind of, maybe.
Yes, sir. And welcome to the new Super Gaming Squad podcast. It's not that, amazing because it's me, but yeah, it's good to have y'all here. And today, we're going to be talking about Sonic. This is going to be a mostly Sonic-focused episode of the podcast, which is very different from the previous ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically going to be all about our Blue Lorded Savior. So what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be talking about is the two Sonic the Hedgehog movies. So the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie back in 2020, I figure we should give some thoughts on that just to, see how y'all feel about it. How I've felt about it, rewatching it after at least like 2 years later. And then we're going to get to the big one, which is talking about the Sonic movie sequel that recently came out. And I think everyone here has seen it in theaters, totally legit. No one's seen it pirated at any point. Totally
yeah,
not.
Of course.
Totally. Just wanted to make sure I push that. But for real, we have all seen it in theaters, Maybe some of us have seen it through shady methods, but we all ended up seeing it in theaters. I couldn't deny seeing Knuckles on the big screen, obviously. And he did look great, so but we'll get to that. But after that, we're going to be doing speculation for Sonic Movie 3 because this movie does tease some interesting things for the future, some interesting things. We'll get to that. And then we'll talk about the Knuckles spin-off show that might be on Paramount Plus, and then we'll end it off with possibly thoughts on Sonic Prime and freelance talk if we have extra time. But without any more hesitation, let's get started, my friends. So we're going to start with thoughts on Sonic Movie 1, and this is going to be interesting because Sonic Movie 1 is it's an interesting thing to look back on it. I think I'll let one of y'all speak first since I've been talking for a minute. So let's go with Andrés because I think you might have something to say on that. So go ahead.
All right. Well, I mean, for Sonic Movie 1, me and my friends were setting this up because we watch movie nights on Discord every, couple of, I think it's every Saturday. And someone suggested, hey, let's watch the first Sonic movie since the second one is up. I was like, sure, all right, and we watched it together. And the film, to a lot of people, still holds up. I think for me, personally, I'd probably give it maybe around a 6. You also got to keep in mind that the film was the first of its kind. And it was an all right film. To me, it was. But you know, that's pretty much what I'll start with when it comes to this type of stuff. My friends liked it, obviously.
And would
Me,
you
I'm a 6.
yeah, would you classify your friends as more like casuals or like hardcore Sonic fans?
So my friends are Sonic fans.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna, you know, speak for them, but in terms of what they felt about the film, they enjoy it, right? I'm sure they'll give it a higher rating than I would, but that's them, you know.
Oh, and
But
also
I'd give it a
6 out of
6.
10. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair. Konon, what are your thoughts?
You already know. The first movie's a -1 out of 10 for me. I absolutely hate that movie.
Oh man, dang.
Stuart Little the Hedgehog.
Stuart
That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, you compared to Stuart Little a lot because it really does feel like that.
It's kind of weird seeing the whole family thing with Sonic and humans and all that. He might as well just kiss a human already.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah, because I have thoughts on that too, especially when we get to movie 2. But yeah, that's gonna lead to me. So my thoughts on Sonic Movie 1 is pretty. I pretty much think that it's a very mid movie, and I think it's a bit of a wasted potential for Sonic's first big movie outing. Because I was following movie 1 since the minute it was announced. This movie was announced like what, 2013, 2012? Like it was
Yeah,
announced
something like that.
a long time ago, and it was back during the early stages of the Colors era. It was announced, and it was originally with Sony. I did a whole video on that where I was like, "Oh, it's with Sony. I wonder how it's going to turn out." And most people had no faith in it from the jump because it was confirmed live action, and we were like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
It even had it, and we later learned that it even had a different script and crew and everything under Sony. Like it was going in a completely different direction when it was with Sony, and we know that it had a different writer with Van. I forget his full name. But
I'm not going to pronounce his last
Robert
name.
Johnson.
I know what it is. I'm not going to do
yeah,
that.
maybe you could type that. If someone could type that, feel free to. But yeah. Van. He was on Facebook and he was interacting with Sonic fans, and he was actually talking with them. And our crew, you know, some of our crew, we recommended, play the adventure games. You know, try and get adventure elements in there. And it, from what little of his script leaked, it seems like he actually did, because he might be the reason stuff like the echidnas made it into the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his script was very different from what ended up being the final one. I don't know where you could possibly find that, but I know there have been videos made on it. Like, I think Prem, the boy Prem, he made a video on the original script. So maybe if you track down that, you'll probably see what it could have been. But yeah, clearly that didn't work out, and it went to Paramount, where things shifted drastically. You know, Paramount wanted to take it in a more family-friendly direction. Obviously, they had the big controversy with the ugly Sonic.
Oh God.
Yeah, everyone and their mom, you know, talks about how bad that went.
Oh yeah.
Some people have unironically been asking for a cut of the film with the original design too, as if it exists.
Yeah, I don't think that exists at all.
Yeah,
I think
I
they
don't
just
think it
kind
does.
of, yeah, they just kind of took parts and just kind of put them together.
Yeah, they confirmed
and they
that
got
that trailer is the only footage of the original design they had done, which is kind of weird, you know, for that point in development, but it makes sense, you know. And then they obviously redid things from scratch, and we got the much better design, which most people like, minus, you know, people arguing over blue arms or not, which, I guess that's a fun thing we can discuss. Blue arms or nah.
The way they've done it, I'm not fazed by it at this point.
I think it's fitting.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care anymore. Like, I used to, like, blue arms used to drive me crazy on the blue boom designs, because, like, I could not stand the boom designs. It used to drive me crazy there. But honestly, it doesn't look that bad with the movie design. Like, they blended it so well with the classic design. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's also partially because like I'm just thankful we don't have the original design because that legitimately was.
It was a fucking mess. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can curse. You can curse. You're fine.
Okay.
Oh my god. And I feel like I could. I need to put that picture of the Joker looking version of it that I put in the chat.
Oh God.
If you can find that, Conan, or I can look for it. But I need to put that. Oh, here it is. Thank you. I can put that right in the chat. Oh, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. All right, let me put that right in the chat. Here we go. There, it's on screen for y'all to see. Yeah. Oh, I like how they specifically have little bags on his feet.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, you said it yourself. It's like they don't want to show Sonic's feet because they know.
Yeah.
There are people who are weird about it.
Yeah, there's this very specific something going on at Sega. They're just like, no.
It's hilarious, but yeah. Let's get back on topic. Movie one.
Right.
So, movie one came out, and my thoughts on it are that I just thought it was kind of mid. You know, I even said it in my video, so it's not as surprising to most people. I just thought it was mid because I think the biggest problem with movie one is it's more or less a standard generic Hollywood movie with Sonic elements. Like people say, you know, oh, but this movie gives Sonic the Hedgehog heart. It gives him personality, which I heavily disagree with that because I think Sonic has always clearly had personality. He's always had heart. You know, the interactions with his friends and other characters is very genuine in the games.
Right, and I think another reason why this film is very, very basic and bare is probably because Paramount didn't have a lot of faith in it to begin with.
Right.
And it was up until Paramount saw the sales, you know, which was about like what, 306 million box office, and Paramount was like, okay, this is a brand that is actually serious. Let's give it, you know, a bigger budget next time.
Right. We know budget was a huge factor and why this movie was kind of nerfed.
Yeah. Yeah, this film had, I think, a $90 million budget,
Yeah.
which is kind of small, but it's not, you know, ridiculously small.
Right. It doesn't leave much room because obviously most of that is going to go to Sonic, and then you have to equate for Eggman's robots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where so I understand why movie one was the way it was. But, you know, me being obviously a big Sonic game nut, I just wish it felt more like Sonic. And not just in the sense that, you know, oh, I wanted to see Tails, Knuckles, Amy, all of them right out the jump. Like, not in that sense per se, but I just think it didn't do a good job of 100% nailing the Sonic universe, you know? That's just...
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, they couldn't. You know, like I mentioned before,
Right.
This is something that the team had ideas, because you got to keep in mind that Jeff Fowler was someone who was involved at Sega for quite some time.
Right. That's
And,
something I was reminded
yeah.
of recently. We learned that he did work on the freaking Shadow the Hedgehog opening, which is just baffling to me.
Yeah, I believe I don't know if I got his name correctly, but it was Tim Miller, who's also someone involved in the Sonic film, who was also part of Sega at some
Right.
point.
He was also on the Shadow opening. He was also on the...
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong in this. He was on the Black Knight opening, too, which is insane.
That I'm not too sure.
I don't
but
know
I
about
do
that.
know that. Yeah,
might be
I
wrong
do
on
know.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know that Blur Studios and Marza were both involved in both these films.
Right, which is why we see a lot of these Sega people, because the people who
Yeah.
literally make the CG cutscenes are making these movies. Or at least doing the
Yeah.
major, you know, CG on them. So yeah, but I still feel like this movie was just scared of like touching the Sonic universe in the traditional sense. I feel like it was way too scared. Like
Oh yeah, it was.
to
It
sparingly
was.
degrees. Like
It-
Gun
it-
could have been mentioned
yeah.
since movie one, which spoilers they are in movie two. Oh, I should mention that this is a spoiler, by the way. So there will be spoilers.
Oops.
But you probably knew Gun. You knew Gun
Yeah.
was in the movie from the trailers, but I should mention that now because later we're gonna be getting in the crazy spoilers, obviously. So, spoilers. I'll probably
Oh, yeah.
put it in the title, or I'll put a little warning before we start. But yeah, spoilers. This will have spoilers. But yeah, So I feel like Gun could have been mentioned since movie one. They could have done a little more things to foreshadow movie two. Now we did get some stuff, of course. We got like the echidnas. We got
That's right. Yeah.
implications that Robotnik is clearly not a normal person.
Yeah, he's erased from the government,
Right.
which is weird. It's a little weird. I don't know where they were
Like
going
they do
with that.
mention since movie one that like he's clearly like someone they only contact for emergencies because he's crazy.
Yeah, and that because he's a genius or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think is good which could have been like good foreshadowing for Gerald and his past with Gun. Like that could have been great. Obviously they don't mention that stuff by name, but I feel like it's good setup, unintentional setup possibly. But yeah, what just
Wait,
Oh, go ahead, Conan.
are we just saying like the bare minimum that they could have added, or are we like talking about
Yeah,
rewriting?
we're
or
talking
something?
the bare minimum. Trust me, because they definitely could have gone a lot more. I feel like one problem I have with movie one also is the locations are just not memorable. Like we get Green Hill in the opening, it's not even called Green Hill. Instead, the town is called Green Hill, and then that's basically it. So location, so
Yeah, that was a little weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
world building wise, movie one just sucks in my opinion. As a Sonic movie, like right out the gate, it just sucks there. I just gotta say it. What else? Obviously, character wise, we get a lot of original characters with the humans, and oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's talk about the humans. So let's just take a minute to talk about the humans. So
All right.
first, we got Tom, who they basically in the first movie they set up as more of his best friend. He's the standard fish out of water human meets crazy out of this world character. That's
Yeah.
basically what Tom is. And
Yeah, Tom is written more kind of very, very in a very bland way. Very, very bland in the first film.
Right.
Not a lot of personality. He's got moments, but they're not significant enough for you to be like, oh, this is Tom from the Sonic film. You know what I
right,
mean?
like I'll say because he's so generic and because they don't go too crazy with him, that automatically makes him one of the better Sonic humans because he's not like whiny. Like people say he's the best Sonic human, which no, because we have humans like Maria, Gerald, we have the humans from like the storybook games who actually play a role in the story and do crazy stuff. So no, I wouldn't call him the best human, but he's one of the better ones just because of how basic he is. Like he's not Chris, who makes you want to gut your eyes out, and he's not Elise, who's controversial.
Yeah, to me, I think the best human will always be Eggman.
Oh,
because
and
people
I'm
seem to be
stupid.
forgetting about Eggman.
I'm stupid. See, the problem with Eggman is I don't even consider him human. That's why I
Yeah.
stay forgetting. I stay forgetting he's human because I don't even consider him human. He's like so embedded in the main Sonic cast, he doesn't even feel human.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Which in that sense, I think Jim Carrey was a good person to play him. Like, I'll admit, when I first heard that, I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, I don't know. Because, like, Jim Carrey has, like, a very specific way he plays his characters, and at times he leans Robotnik more towards Jim Carrey than Robotnik. But I think he has some great moments of nailing the character.
Oh yeah, he does. Especially in the final like bits of the Sonic film, movie one,
Right.
where they have those cinematic shots, which are excellent, which are really, really great shots. These are the shots that you would see in the marketing for this film.
Right.
But those shots aren't really seen throughout the film, which is a little weird.
Right. It's kind of weird. Oh, I almost forgot the Mushroom Planet. That technically counts as a weird and all that, which it's kind of generic looking. It does look a bit better in the sequel, which we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about that? Jim Carrey and stuff like that, Conan.
Wait, can we backtrack for a minute? You said they think he's the best human,
Yeah.
like the cop.
Yeah.
How?
Some people say that.
You
Because
could take him out the movie and nothing changes.
right. Like again, it's because he's not insufferable compared to a lot of, Sonic humans throughout the past. Which that just gets into the whole subject of, do humans even belong in Sonic? Which obviously I think so. Like
Yeah, they do.
that's I can understand
Man.
why people don't like them. 100%.
Honestly, they should have just went like full Stuart Little. They should have made Sonic have a brother that's like Chris Thorndike or something.
Oh no.
Oh
So
no,
I would have
Nah,
accepted
nah.
that than having a
Oh.
bro. Come on,
Bruh.
thanks, Dad.
No.
Come
Nah,
on.
no. Look, we got JoJo. That's enough for us.
yeah, and she's decent. So let's not go with that.
Yeah, at least she gets like a heartwarming moment with like, oh, here's your shoes, from the games.
No, bro. I'd rather they have a bright racial kid and he wants a brother. It's Sonic.
Oh, I can already picture that too. There were theories, that this movie was basically just going to be live action Sonic X, which in some ways it kind of is, Sonic,
Well, yeah, it is.
Sonic
Yeah,
is
you
living
have
with
to.
humans
Yeah.
and interacting with
I'm
them.
too.
Which I find hilarious. Which is going to be hilarious when we talk about how movie 2 ends with him living with the humans. But yeah, it is kind of live action Sonic X in a way.
I'd rather have Sonic have a biracial brother than him saying thanks, Dad, to a white guy. It's kind of weird.
And a lot again. This is another thing people say. Do humans should they be even given like roles this close to Sonic? Like in the games, clearly humans rarely have that well of a connection with Sonic, and if they do, they're either in the background, like they're characters like Maria who are like already dead or something, or they're like one-time characters like Shauna and Merlena and stuff like that. Like people debate whether how close humans should be with Sonic and Co. And I think it should be a nice blend, Occasionally we can have those humans who obviously are just there to flesh out backstory and the stories themselves. But I think I don't mind there being human characters, to connect with Sonic and Co. I don't think that's a problem.
No, I don't think it's a problem either. I think it could work. The problem is that when these characters start getting very attached to Sonic, that's when it becomes a problem.
Right.
𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗰, Chris, stuff like that.
Right, where they just straight up make Sonic their personality.
Yeah, that and they get very like clingy to Sonic. Like they would like for example like in Sonic X, they like. Chris sends these characters back to their world, but Chris makes it a mission to go to their world and to interact with them again. And it's just like, dude,
right? Which is, and the problem is like that was at risk of him because he could possibly never return.
Yeah, yeah. He gave up his wife. He gave up his friends.
Was he
just to go back to Sonic? Yes, he had a wife, the girl on the wheelchair.
Oh, he was married to her?
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of implied that, yeah. I don't know if they were married, but they were in a relationship.
Friends, and I know they were close. Yeah. They were like hinting stuff with them, but I didn't know that he was freaking married. That's crazy.
I could have just made that up. I don't know, but they made it seem like they were in a relationship.
Yeah, they did seem pretty close. But that would be funny.
Was a time skip in Sonic X? What?
Yeah, there was a time skip in season 3, the season with Cosmo and stuff.
Yeah,
Sonic goes back to his world, and that's where the Cosmos shenanigans happen. But Chris shows up, of course, because we can't have a season without him.
Oh yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, but
I will say, yeah. I will say though that Sonic X season 3 was the better of the two seasons.
Yeah, well, yeah. That again, that's not hard because season 3 had less of the dumb filler that the previous one did.
Yeah, that and it also had like an interesting plot.
Right.
Interesting plot. Well, that's the thing. Interesting plot with the Japan version because the Japan version had more things to it.
Right.
The 4Kids version had a lot of cut
Cosmo's
stuff.
story could get dark. Like elements of that story could get dark.
Yeah.
And obviously, she freaking dies. So. Spoilers for how old is Sonic X?
I don't know.
But yeah, let's get back to the movie.
Right.
Let me close real quick. I'm just saying, if Sonic had like cheesy moments, then it would be way more like understanding.
That's a fair argument because I think that's another problem. He should interact with kids his age because he's 15. Sonic and Co are like, pretty young.
Wants a brother or something.
So I don't know if sense for him to interact with kids his age.
I don't know if Sonic is 15 though in these films.
Right. Well, they say he's younger.
Yeah.
He has to be younger because.
Yeah, he clearly shows it too with his flossing and his Fortnite shenanigans. Oh lord, which is another
Yeah.
problem I have with movie 1 and movie 2. Oh, we're gonna get the movie 2. We're gonna get the
Yeah.
movie 2. But yeah, movie 1 suffers from having those cringe moments where Sonic, has his fart jokes, his flossing, his pop culture references, which Sonic himself, even
Yeah.
in the games, he occasionally made like jokes like that. Not fart jokes and Fortnite jokes, but pop culture references. But like he does it so sparingly that you tend to forget. So when he does it constantly in the movie verse, it's just like overwhelming.
I think the weird thing about the first Sonic film is that they wanted to make him into like a Deadpool type character, constantly making
Oh,
jokes
and
and references.
that makes sense because
Yeah.
a writer, I think, was it a writer or a producer? I forget, but someone from Deadpool was on this movie first.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He fell off then.
Well, even Deadpool, as much as I like Deadpool, even he as a character can hit those walls where he can be like kind of cringy. But what makes him, it works with him because it clearly is how he is and he works off of it. That and he's obviously more mature based, so his jokes will be more funny just naturally. For us, for old, but
True.
yeah, like it just doesn't work to have Sonic wisecracking every 2 seconds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like obviously him being having attitude, which man, I hate that word now because Sonic fans ruined it. Piss.
I think the problem is that the cockiness tends to go on even when he meets Eggman, and Sonic will stop joking around the moment.
Eggman
But
name because
in the
he's been
first
giving
movie, he doesn't take it seriously up
Right.
until
right.
that and also the fact that like you kill him, Sonic's still making jokes.
Right.
When in fact setting he would still be serious.
Right. And it makes sense because Eggman's like someone sometimes obviously you need to take seriously because his plans can get crazy with like the death egg and whatnot. But other times he is a legit joke, so that's kind of how he is in the games. It's like sometimes he'll take Eggman serious, other times he'll like meme on him. And I feel like you have to find that, in the first movie, I feel like it definitely could have leaned on the more intimidating side. Since this is the first time he has to face someone like Eggman. And I feel like movie 1 didn't have that nice balance, especially since like Eggman is not as threatening as he is in the games. From the jump in the games, he could be a little crazy with his schemes. Obviously building a freaking Death Star thing and almost nuking the planet.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah,
he's not as crazy in the first film. I'll say that.
right. That's another problem I have with movie 1 is that I feel like the writing has holes in it. So the thing with Robotnik is they don't do a good job of making it clear he's a villain in movie 1 because he's just a government dude.
Yeah. So Eggman is just kind of a mysterious anomaly that just appears in this film. They don't really explain much about him. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Probably was.
We get tidbits where he, talks about how he was bullied and how he doesn't like people.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't use intelligence and stuff like that. We get tiny tidbits of that, but we don't delve enough into him to really like understand why he is the way he is.
I'm also going to say that it's probably because Jim Carrey had a big hand in making sure how he wanted Eggman to be.
Right.
Because he made that clear in movie 2 in interviews that he wants people. He has his own vision of Eggman, if that makes sense.
And that's another thing people debate, it's a movie canon and you can't expect it to follow the games and do everything the games do.
Right, yeah.
And my argument to that is obviously, I'm okay with them changing stuff. With movie 2, there's some stuff, things from the games you have to keep in the core of a Sonic the Hedgehog movie to make it be a good Sonic the Hedgehog movie,
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
I do think it's fair, but then again, I see it as And the reason is because, when movie 2 started coming out and they're, releasing more info about this, well, Paramount just didn't believe in us at all.
Right.
And they're not going to take this stuff seriously if we go all out. So we might as well make it bare, and we'll see how it goes. And it worked,
Right. And it is funny because movie 2 basically did everything better. Like, movie 2 is what I wanted movie 1 to be more like, because that movie was fire. Like, that poster where they recreate the Sonic 2 game poster, that was fire.
Yeah.
Fire. True. Yeah. So that stuff like that is great. But I guess is there anything else about movie 1 I want to talk about?
I'll just say that the final battle is decent. There are some good shots in that. He, attacked Eggman like crazy in that bit. That's probably the biggest highlight of the film. Right. That's pretty much all I got to say. I'd give it a 6. Based on the hand that they were given. That if you're going into a room of people who are in charge of your career, you're going to make it so that you please them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to make it as bare. You're going to make it as corporate.
I know they did. They had very few options with movie 1, and I feel like what they had, they did a good job.
I mean, I'll also mention this: the whole old design fiasco. A lot of fans think that it was like a stunt.
Oh no,
I don't think that was a stunt.
Honestly, I believed it was a stunt at one point. But,
yeah, I did too.
But it was not a stunt.
Yeah, it's clear there was no stunt there.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of cut stuff from this film. A lot of cut stuff. A lot of cut stuff that you would get. I think it's in like the Steelbook, like DVD or Blu-ray copy of this film that you buy, and like there's like some deleted scenes that are unfinished.
We know there was like a thing with. Oh, that reminds me. We should talk about stuff like Sonic's backstory, because we talked about Robotnik's, but we should talk about Sonic. But before we get to that, there was a lot of cut stuff. Like there were lizard villains planned that were going to be minor antagonists, but they kind of just threw those to the wind. Some people are like, "Oh, is it set up for Lyric?" And I'm like, please.
No. I think that was part of the old like Van script.
Right. That would be hilarious though.
Oh yeah.
And I think people say that is because Lyric actually has Lyric's backstory from. I cannot believe I'm talking about freaking Rise of Lyric. His stupid backstory actually involves like a race of lizard people. And
it does, and it's kind of trash.
Yeah, it is trash, and they have beef with Sonic for that reason. But yeah, some people were thinking that it was hinting towards him, and I'm like, no, please.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's get to Sonic's backstory. So this is an interesting point we should actually talk about. How do y'all feel about how this movie does Sonic's backstory and how he grew up, as opposed to how other media has handled it? So obviously, with the movie, they keep it simple and say, oh, he was raised by a guardian owl lady who's a part of this advanced guardian owl race. As to where in the games, he's clearly like born from hedgehog parents. His dad was freaking roboticized. His mother is kind of just an average person. And, he visits them occasionally, but he kind of just does his own thing. They let him run the street.
That's not even canon.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, like that stuff is
Archie.
Like Americanized.
That's Archie. And then game, because I'm thinking of Archie. It's like fresh in my mind. Penders is in my head rent-free.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to get the Pim.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, game-wise, I'm sorry, because I was thinking of Archie. Game-wise, he does not have a backstory at all.
I mean, he kind of does. He was born on Christmas Island. And that's it.
And we know he has super speed. That's it. Other than that, and we do know how his relationships with his friends are born, obviously, because we see most of them. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah. So how do y'all feel about that? Konon, let's let you talk.
I don't like the Earth Defender thing. Other than that, I think they rewrote it like pretty like spot on.
Yeah, I mean, Longclaw doesn't really make me angry. The things they do with Longclaw and how they tie that into the Echidna stuff later, I think is actually nice. But Longclaw as a character just doesn't, offend me. She's just okay.
Yeah, she's fine. I don't really, I'm grateful that it's not a human. That's
Oh
all I care
yeah,
about.
a human
Yeah.
in Sonic's world who happened to raise him. That would have been
Yeah.
extra weird. Or that, or we would have actually seen a hedgehog mother or something. I don't know. How would it? I don't know how they would
That
have
would have
done
been a
that.
little weird.
That would
That
have
would
been
have been
pretty
a little
weird.
weird, yeah, because it would imply that Sonic just kind of ditched her, and that would seem weird.
That's the problem. We don't see much of Sonic's world. Like that. That's gonna tie in the movie too. We don't see enough of Sonic's world to know the differences between it and what's happening with Earth. And even with the games,
Yeah.
they're very wonky with this. Two worlds versus one world, Mobius, all that BS. Like they've never been good with it.
Yeah, it's been a mess, and it involves like Sega of Japan and their mandates and what they want to see and what they don't.
Right. Obviously, the movie verse is on two. We have Earth, which is straight up normal Earth. We don't even have like Station Square or anything. It's just straight up New York and Cisco and all this. Which again, I'm like, but like Sonicized or whatever terminology
Yeah,
locations, but it's fine. Earth is Earth. That works for me.
It could at
yeah. I
least
mean,
do
it's
like
fine.
Sonic Adventure areas.
Right.
Like what is it called? Red Mountain, I think.
Yeah,
The canyon
they
area.
definitely could have thrown, and they throw location references in there. We see location references all the time. They reference like Hilltop and all that stuff, but they're just like brand stuff. They're not actual locations in the world, and that annoys me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like some of these zones can be recreated, and they don't even have to recreate the zone sometimes, as we'll see with movie two. Like it could literally just be a generic place on Earth, and they could just use it to recreate game set pieces. For example, they could literally just have Sonic going to a casino,
yeah,
which it is a casino, so maybe I could understand why that would be one of the riskier ones. But
right. Yeah, they don't want him gambling.
yeah, or the UK, because the UK, like just being in a casino, the UK does not like. Like that's the reason why Pokemon doesn't have casino places anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
the game corner, the game corner in the Pokemon games is basically a casino. So, and then in future games, banished them because the UK threatened to raise the rating.
Oof.
So yeah, they did replace it with other stuff though. Some more better than others. But yeah, let's not get into that though.
Right.
But yeah, I guess movie one again. Movie one has nothing noteworthy about it. I'm surprised we've gotten this much out of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it had generic bar fights, generic road trip stuff. Like it is a very like to me because it just doesn't have much to it. We do get our heartfelt moments, obviously, but I just think Sonic is too vulnerable in movie one.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest offenders in Sonic Movie One is the fart joke.
Right.
That to me is like the
Well, in
mood
terms of
killer.
him being vulnerable, like stuff like him being alone, like I like because Conan mentioned this, Sonic, being like, oh, I want friends and being alone, it just doesn't fit him. Like that's Tails'
It
thing.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's Tails' thing. And as we see, that's how they bond in the second movie, obviously. So it
Yeah.
works, but it just doesn't fit him. And I'm not saying Sonic needs to be this cool guy who has absolutely no emotional insecurities or weaknesses, because obviously, if you're doing a movie, he has to have something.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this movie, Sonic Movie 1 was a little ballsy. They made Sonic cry.
Right.
That's something that Sega does not like at all, and I will give the props for that.
And that's because of Penders, again. We'll get to him.
I don't know if it's about Penders. I think it's more of Sega of Japan.
Oh.
I think.
Oh.
It might. I'm not. I could be wrong on that, but
Well,
I'm
to be
pretty
fair,
sure it has something to do.
Nintendo has like strict things with Mario and what he can and can't do. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think they'd let him cry either.
Fair enough.
I don't think they'd have a moment where he like cries and like obviously he's allowed to look sad and emote,
Yeah, yeah.
but they probably have similar strict rules too. Like Japanese companies in general are weird with that. They have like very specific guidelines for how characters are portrayed. Not the mandates don't get as stupid as Sega got with theirs, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll say the reason why Sega probably got very, very aggressive with that is probably because she went wild with it.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, wait a minute, like, what's going on?
And in
Like,
some of those cases, it made sense because Archie
oh
did some
yeah,
wild
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. There was characters, there was implications of characters having sex, and it's just like, wait, what? This is a kid. This is a kids comic.
Right.
Like, what are you
Because at
doing?
the end of the day, Sonic is a kid's brand.
Yeah,
So I get that. I get that 100%. Like, as much of a big edgelord I am, I get that.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be it for movie one. I got nothing else to say for this movie.
Yeah, I'm done with movie one.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got so much out of it. So now, we didn't talk about some of the humans who debuted in movie one, but we can talk about them with movie two. We can just transition.
All right.
So let's get to movie two. So before we start breaking the plot into pieces, let's just get general thoughts. You can put some major plot points if you want in your general thoughts, but let's just get general thoughts. Starting with you, Konon.
Well, right off the bat, this is not a negative one. This is more of a, I give it a 7 or a 6.5, one of those. But yeah, this movie was.
That's a hell of an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I as a fan, I'd give this movie an 8. As a critic, I'd probably give it a 7.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Konon, why would you give it your rating?
Improved like way better. Like we already said, the action scenes and the places they went, like Siberia,
Right.
and what's the other place? The ancient thing they're in. It's like a temple or something.
Yeah, like this, I'm just gonna go ahead and say mine too. This movie, oh boy, this movie is a massive step up from movie one. People who say movie one was better just because it, focused a little more on those heartfelt moments, I don't care. Movie two is better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I could
They
see
say
how.
that.
Yeah. Some people say movie one was better because it had more heart and it was more focused. And I'm like, no, I don't care. Movie two was better. Not only, and personally, I think it was not only more better as a Sonic movie, but just a general movie because it had more unique set pieces and more unique aspects to it. It's just more memorable.
It is, yeah.
Like, most of what we talked about with movie one was a lot of the technicalities of stuff. We didn't talk about the actual plot much because what happens in that plot?
Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot.
Like, even this movie's most diehard fans, movie one's most diehard fans, I know dang well y'all are not saying, oh, the bar scene is peak fiction. Come on now.
No, no.
The slowdown scene, okay, it was a little cool. But the actual, shenanigans, I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, movie two was a massive improvement. Now, that being said, as much of an improvement movie two was, I feel like this movie does still have some massive, bumps to it. Like, it still has some of those movie shenanigans, movie one shenanigans,
Yeah.
and even
Yeah.
worse to an extent. Like, it was really hard for me to rate this movie because some of this movie's lows can,
Wait, so what would you rate it? I don't think you mentioned that.
Right. So when we talked about it initially, Andreas, I said that I was
Yeah.
very on the fence of whether I would give this a B or C because 100% for sure it would be a B or C because I gave movie one a C. I would probably give movie one a 79 out of 100, a C plus,
All right.
the highest C I can give it, but it does not have enough to cross that B. Movie two, I would say a semi-lowest B rating, so an 82 out of 100, B minus. Like
All right.
it's close to getting up there and getting closer to the movie I want, and just overall being a better movie. But it has big holes in it to me, things
yeah.
that still hold it back from beating movies like Detective Pikachu, which I know some people would kill me for saying that. So yeah, movie two is very complicated to me, but overall, I think we can all agree it's a better movie, right?
Yeah, it's way better. Miles better.
Yeah, it's not even a question. I know some people were debating it on Twitter, but nah, movie two was way better. And obviously, maybe there is Sonic fan bias. Obviously this movie has more Sonic stuff, so we're gonna care much more.
Yeah.
I could understand if a casual would like movie one better because of how more simple it is. But honestly, even in
Yeah,
my
it's just a little.
yeah, even in my friend group, people who don't give a dang about Sonic, they said movie two was better.
Yeah, a lot of people, general audience reception on Rotten Tomatoes as of now is like a 97,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
that's pretty significant
Yeah.
because I'm not too sure how Sonic was. I could check real quick, but yeah, it's certainly a
Yeah.
surprise to see people generally like this film.
Yeah. Let's not talk about them reviews that were like, oh, they should have focused more on the humans than Sonic. Like, what's
No,
Sonic doing
that's
in
nonsense.
what's Sonic doing in this movie? I'm like, bro, you did not come to a Sonic the Hedgehog movie for humans. What are you talking about? Let's not even get into that. I don't want to waste my time. But yeah, movie two. Don't waste my time, by the way.
Exactly.
Inside joke there. But yeah.
Also, yeah, movie one got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. Okay.
So
Solid.
not bad.
Solid. But yeah, I'd say movie two. Now, some again, hype. Some people are straight up saying that movie two is to video game movies that Spider-Man was to comic book movies, which
I would kind of agree in terms of video game
it's
movie.
tough to say
Right.
because obviously it's without question one of the best video game movies. I still don't think it's better
Yeah.
than Detective Pikachu, but I think it is one of the best.
So,
Detective Pikachu.
no. I mean, I would say they're equal. Detective Pikachu isn't as special.
Right.
Funnest part was just pointing out the Pokemon.
Right. See,
Yeah.
Detective. Now, keep in mind, I don't think Detective Pikachu is a flawless movie. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying, oh, Detective Pikachu is miles better. Nah, especially on rewatch,
No.
that movie is not that because the humans kind of suck. Like they suck as much as
Yeah.
the Sonic movie ones, and they're kind of less memorable too. Like for as much as I roast the Sonic movie universe humans, I do not. I barely remember the Detective Pikachu humans. Like I could.
Oh yeah, I don't even.
tell
Yeah,
you their names.
I can't name them off the top of my head.
Right. I remember them more for the Pokemon they had and stuff like that. So Ash, Misty, and all of them, because
Yeah.
no one cares about these characters. Like the more I watch Detective Pikachu, I'm like, yeah, this movie is not that great, but it's a movie to me, and I do think in some ways it is better than Sonic Movie 2.
Yeah.
So, but that being,
Um,
yeah,
what I was referring to was that Sonic 2 is like savior of gaming movies. I don't think so at all.
right. I wouldn't call it.
If this is the example that they're supposed to do, imagine if they do like family themed
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah,
Like,
we
Pikachu's like,
talked about that because the director was like, "Oh, I wouldn't mind directing a Nintendo Cinematic Universe." Hey, bruh, I respect what you did for Sonic here, but no,
no, but I mean,
No,
like,
that's a
what if they
that's a
make like
different
a,
can of worms.
yeah, I would not
what
want
if
you
they
to
make
make
like
a Zelda movie.
what if they make like a Pokemon movie and like Pikachu's a depressed rat or something, and like he wants
Ugh,
a trainer, or
no.
some weird family stuff where they have to make it sad or something.
Right, like as much as I like Sonic Movie One and Sonic Movie Two, I mean, like I would not want the way it handles things to be handled with other video game movies. As to where Spider-Man is like literally the textbook definition of how what a good comic book movie should be. Like that movie, like not only redefined the superhero genre, it just redefined movies overall. Like that comparison is wild to me. It is wild because what Spider-Man
Yeah.
1 and 2 did, it was so much different than what this movie is doing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then again, those are like whole different like subcultures of geekdom, but but yeah, like I just think it's a wild comparison, regardless. But yeah, I'd say Sonic Movie 2 good. So y'all ready to
Yeah.
start breaking this down?
Sure.
Do you know the way? I can show you the way.
That's right.
I don't know if that was a Uganda Knuckles joke. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
It had to be.
Maybe.
Yeah, it had to be.
Thank God it was not more on the nose, and they didn't do anything like, have Crazy Carl draw Uganda Knuckles. Because if they had done that, I would have taken a whole point off this movie. I'm sorry. A whole letter grade bump down. It's like, all right, C plus it is. Just subtle. So I'm like, all right, I'll let that one slide. But yeah, start of the movie to be, Eggman's trapped on the mushroom planet. We see how he uses the quill to try and build something to get back. This is probably the weirdest part too. So he manages to summon people towards him, but they're these weird humanoid people with bird helmets.
Yeah, so what these guys are, they're like hunters.
Right, they're clearly like other dimensional people, since we know the
and they
dimension stuff. Yeah.
Like the people that early screening comic called the Sonic movie, and I think that was like written by like Flynn, but I know that Jim Carrey was involved in this.
Right.
And what these guys are, they're like hunters who go around different dimensions or hunt things, live in Casino Zone. They kind of they capture creatures for this like giant worm monster to like, so that people can like bet on who's going to win, and that's how they come across Knuckles.
Right.
They capture him, and then they're like, "Hey, it's the last of the echidnas, creature, or is it Knuckles?" That's a little weird.
And the Chaotix make a cameo in that comic too. Like shocked.
They do, yeah.
They just casually introduce him like that.
The lizards, the lizard creatures also make a cameo in that. They're in Marble Zone, which is a little weird.
So that comic is so weird because, like, on one hand, it had official movie people on it, so you could maybe count it as canon. But like
it is canon.
Yeah, that's such a substantial amount of crazy stuff that the movie doesn't acknowledge that, like, it's like whatever, bro. Because I feel like not just introduce them so. It's
3.
I think it was just Vector and SBO in the background.
Casino Night Zone.
Gotta look that up.
Yeah, it was weird. It's not that exciting. They're just chilling, and they don't even have different designs either. Straight up look how they look in the freaking IDW. I think.
Context specific scene to read the comic.
Right, which is like borderline
weird.
Rise of Skywalker. You gotta play Fortnite to understand Palpatine's weird message. Like, maybe not that bad, definitely, but that's weird for sure. But yeah,
that is Final Fantasy 15. You have to watch a movie, watch an anime, and read a book, I think.
No. Oh, that sounds garbage. But yeah, we can move on. So these weird bird people, they try to interact with Mr. Robotnik, and he takes them out pretty easily. Then he tries to get out of there, and Knuckles pops up. In his introduction, in my theater, I saw this in like a theater with like a pretty big screen. Why does he look so huge in that opening shot where he like walks up?
He does, yeah. It's also interesting to note of those teleport rings from those people.
Right. I figured he'd have to have rings, clearly. Like, if he's showing up.
Yeah, he won them because he defeated that like alien creature. And he told those alien creatures, "Hey, you guys are good at hunting. Help me find this hedgehog." Right.
That's another thing. I'm like, okay. I feel like they could have developed on that stuff. But again, this movie already was clocking in at 2 hours, so I can understand why they couldn't do a bunch of this crazy story stuff in the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Even though there's stuff in this movie, I think, that could have been cut for other stuff, but we'll get to that.
Only question.
I think
because it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Eggman flosses, and that's like one of those cringe moments. I'm like, bro, Now, see, the thing with Sonic flossing, obviously we roast it, everyone roasts it, but I'm okay with it in the context that, yes, Sonic is clearly this younger kid who grew up with Earth culture in the background, and it makes sense in that sense, but Jim Carrey, Eggman doing it out of nowhere is like, okay, that's forced. So I wasn't down with that.
For me, honestly, with that scene, I'd rather it be Carrey than Sonic.
Right.
Because at least with Carrey, it would make sense.
Knuckles is what
oh god, if Knuckles did that, if Knuckles said that, if Knuckles flossed, I would have been done.
Yeah. Like, if it had to be Carrey or Knuckles, I'm like, alright, give it to Carrey.
It's true.
A vigilante. Now, originally when I saw this in the trailers, I was like, it's kind of weird to see Sonic be a vigilante dealing with human burglars, but it kind of makes sense because in these Sonic Adventure games, we know he watches over the human people.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You know, the forces and stuff, so he clearly would intervene if, you know, shenanigans happened with the human people. So it makes sense. And we see that
it does.
He kind of sucks at it, which makes sense, you know, because he hasn't really been doing this for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Besides
him using his is the fact that the warp rings are no longer like useful to him, so he kind of just uses them to like get like minimal things. Getting food from the supermarket.
Right. That's something I noticed. The warp rings kind of take a backseat, which makes sense because, you know, obviously they're not hopping between a ton of locations.
Dude, his whole world.
That's, again, another criticism. Like, his whole world kind of is in the background, obviously. Which, again, I feel like it's just going to be natural with how these movies are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me a bit worried for Movie Free, but I think because Movie Free... I gotta sit on that. I almost got ahead of myself. I gotta sit on that. Let me put a pin in that. Remind me to talk about potential Movie Free settings when we get to that.
Alright, fair enough.
I'm gonna put a pin in that. But let's get back. So Sonic is, you know, Tom is telling Sonic, okay, you need to chill with this whole vigilante thing because you're a bit inexperienced at it. You need to be responsible, which it's like a generic life lesson, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think of that was Sonic telling Tom, hey, you're not my dad. Stop trying to be my dad.
And we know
I like that,
and we know how that comes back. Which
let's just go ahead. We'll talk
about that.
Yeah.
So that comes full circle because Sonic basically calls.
That I have mixed feelings about it. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it.
I feel like
I already mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I feel like it worked better having him be Tom's friend, but him straight up. We'll get to Maddie later too. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Why does he have human parents?
Yeah, that's a little that to me was probably one of the things that stuck out to me the entire film, because there are points in this film that stuck out, but I think that specific point, what is going on?
Of course, a lot of Twitter was like, "Oh, it's cute, it's great."
I mean, I guess, but it's a little weird.
But like, bro,
I hate that word.
Right, wholesome. I think there are movies in this movie that are genuinely like cute and cool and kind of, you know, they give you that warm fuzzy feeling and it makes sense. But that one was like, okay, that's forced.
Yeah, it does. That's the thing. That's the thing is that it feels like it's forced. It's like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I would not have taken that direction for the two of them for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so pointless too, because like you can't even build on it. Like, what is Sonic having a mom and dad gonna do for them?
Yeah,
Sonic
if anything, I
movie?
feel like that hurts him because that sets up potential for later plots, which could be like, Sonic is gonna get grounded if he goes and fights crime with his newly made friends or something.
Sonic goes to high school.
Oh no, that's something I almost forgot to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up. So before
Yeah.
we knew
Oh
freaking
no.
Knuckles was in this movie, we speculated what the heck was movie two's plot going to be, because originally we figured it was just going to be Sonic and Tails, and we were fearful that movie two was literally just going to be Sonic and Tails in movie one shenanigans. So we figured, oh, he about to go to high school. He's about to be chilling with Tails and throwing parties and stuff.
Yeah,
No.
that was
Dragon
probably
Ball
one.
Z Evolution all over again.
Oh my god.
Right, and he'd have a fight scene with a bully.
Yeah, that. Oh my god, I can't even imagine something like that.
Like
that just sounds
That
cringe.
is 100% the direction I thought movie two was gonna go before we knew freaking Knuckles was in
Yeah.
this movie. And so thank God he's in this movie. Although some
yeah.
Tails fans and some other people are like, no, I hate you, Knuckles. You took away screen time from the boy.
Yeah, I do. I do remember seeing comments like that.
Yeah, a lot of Tails fans were salty at this movie because and I feel like that is a genuine criticism, because I feel like this movie does kind of rush Tails' development in places.
Yeah, it does. So in this film, Tails just kind of appears.
Right.
You know, Knuckles breaks in with Eggman at Sonic's house, and I think the best moments in all of Sonic history goes down, where Tails runs over Knuckles and is just like, Sonic, get in. And Sonic's like, what just happened? Gets in anyway.
Some people were like, okay, that moment was bad because it doesn't make sense but I think it makes sense. His whole thing is working machines, so the idea that Tails broke into a car, hacked it, and used it to hit Knuckles so they could get away makes sense, because what was he gonna do? Fight Knuckles?
Yeah, no, and keep in mind that Tails knew who Knuckles was.
Right.
He knew that he was like a dangerous,
He's
like,
apparently
character.
infamous
Yeah.
because he's been going around causing trouble wherever he looks for Sonic. So clearly he knows that he's out of his league already.
Yeah.
And he brings it up later too, because Sonic, I was like, all right, come on this journey with me, and he's a little hesitant at first. He's like, bruh, I've never done this before.
Yeah, I don't want to die. So
Which makes sense. I think that makes sense. And that's
Yeah, it
kind of how
does.
his original character was too. Tails also had confidence issues. He follows Sonic because he sees how confident and cool he is, and he's like, all right, I'll hang out with you. But obviously, when stuff gets crazy with Eggman and Knuckles, he's like, okay.
yeah, it's I liked how they did Tails here. It's just that he kind of appears out of nowhere,
Right.
And it makes sense. It makes sense, but because Knuckles is like the main feature of this film. But he does kind of appear a little bit rushed,
And even
which
his
is fine.
backstory, like even in the slow scene where he's explaining his backstory, it feels rough because he basically explains that he was watching Sonic. Like he basically says, "Oh, I'm your FBI agent. I literally have been watching you take baths." And it's like, bruh.
Exactly, and Sonic is like, what? and I think it was a missed opportunity that they didn't show like Tails' island and Tails getting bullied.
Right.
And because that would have been a perfect.
We don't see Tails see where he comes from. We don't see like him 100% getting infatuated with Sonic. Now, to be fair, that's not far from his game story, because his game story is that he literally was stalking Sonic. And he eventually, picked up Sonic's goodwill when Sonic noticed that he could keep up with him. So he was like, "Oh, you're cool. Let's be friends." So that is kind of not far off from how they actually became friends. But it's just kind of weird here, because I feel like they could have had a chance to develop it a bit more. But obviously, because this is a 2-hour movie where we're already developing Knuckles and this other stuff, he doesn't get much of that chance. So I can understand why Tails fans were upset about that.
Yeah, I can see that too, because there was a lot of missed opportunities where you could have explained, you could have shown how Tails was watching Sonic, how Tails was bullied by his friends, stuff like that would have been nice to see.
Yeah. And we also could have seen him tinkering with his gadget. This is one big
that too.
I have with his movie. Obviously, I don't think we could have spent too much time with him tinkering with his gadgets, but one of the biggest missed opportunities of this movie, we do not see the development of the tornado. The tornado is basically a wedding plane that we see in the background for the wedding shenanigans, which we're going to get to that. But
yeah,
basically it implies Tails stole the tornado wedding plane, which ticks me off, bro. Like the idea that the tornado is just some wedding plane he stole is annoying. Cause like I feel like that the plane itself is a symbol of their friendship. Like,
Yeah.
like maybe they could have broke into somewhere and they, they have bond while working on the tornado or something. It's something like that. Now, obviously, the games are weird with it because it's Sonic's plane originally, and Tails.
You know
Yeah,
how
I
I
never
would have done it?
understood that.
Right.
You know how I would have done it? I would have had that plane be Tom's. Like that's Tom's plane, and
Oh,
Tails and Sonic are like looking at it, and Tails is like, I can modify this plane so that we can travel around or do something, and that comes back. That's how I would have done it. Because Tom has a boat.
right,
They show that he's got a house, he's got a boat. That dude's pretty well off. It wouldn't surprise me if he had a plane. I would have liked to see that.
right. Like the plane
Yeah, that
itself,
would be better.
yeah, is an underrated part of their friendship. So it just kind of sucks. It's a wedding plane that came out of nowhere, and it got destroyed at the end too. So
Yeah,
the tornado
yeah.
just got disrespected in this movie. Which is fine. It's just a plane. I'm not gonna lose sleep because the tornado didn't get the best development.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I'll say this. The plane got destroyed in Green Hills, which means that we might see it in movie 3.
Yeah,
and that might be
he could repair
he
it for
could
sure,
repair. Yeah.
100%. But yeah, that just annoyed me. They disrespected the tornado and Tails. Tails, obviously, that's more important. They didn't do him justice. Now they did do him justice in a lot of ways. That moment where they're asleep and he covers Sonic with his tail. It's like, okay, that's fair. And that moment where
Yeah.
they're bonding in the bar after the big dance party, which we're gonna get to that. Yeah, fair. But yeah, he comes out of nowhere. He recruits Sonic, and they go to Siberia because they're looking for clues to finding the Master Emerald. So that's going to bring us to the Master Emerald plot point.
All right. Well, I mean, one of the weird things about this film is how Sonic already knows what the Master Emerald is when
Yeah.
they're in that
Yeah, it's
police
apparently this legendary artifact that everyone from Sonic's world just automatically knows. Obviously, Eggman learns about it from Knuckles, which makes sense. That's how he learned about it from the games, probably. But
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that Sonic already knows what it is. Then we have the whole contrived thing where putting his finger on the Master on the map played this hologram of Longclaw, which, how did
Yeah.
that not happen sooner?
I don't know. That just kind of magically happened.
I feel like they could have at least done something where like there was a clue on the map in a certain language Sonic never understood. Tails looks at it and he's like, "Oh, I know this language," and he translates it, and that leads to the hologram playing. They could have at least done
Yeah,
something
that would have
like
made
that.
sense.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense. But no, he touches it and it like activates the hologram. And then we see Longclaw again. She tells him about the Master Emerald and how her people specifically stole it from the Echidnas in order to prevent them from going on a warpath. Which makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I will say though, the way they did that lore was a lot better than I've seen any other fans do it.
Right.
Like that whole the Echidnas created the Master Emerald. That to me makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to imply that the Echidnas have that much power, but it makes sense to me.
It does, yeah, because the Echidnas have been like an advanced tribe throughout the games since since Sonic 3.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like they were like we know like the even the games like in the manuals and stuff they foreshadow how like in tune with the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald the Echidna tribe is, so it makes sense that they'd be this connected to it.
Yeah,
And
I liked how movie 2 did it.
Yeah, I even like how they tie it back to movie 1. That's the whole reason they wanted Sonic in them. Not only did they want Sonic's power, they wanted the Master Emerald location.
Yeah, and maybe that's probably why they wanted Sonic. They wanted they want him to be like, hey, where is it at?
Yeah. So all that that's fair. We do get shenanigans with Wade though, which that's another human that I now Tom
I mean,
is one
it's
thing,
like-
but Wade just sucks.
Is that the black
Yeah,
guy?
Nah, he's the goofy cop that he arrested
Oh.
Agent Stone at one point. Like they spend a lot of time with him for some reason, and it's just annoying. He's Tom's partner.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that earlier. The cartoon humor, when they do it, like with Sonic, it's funny, but when they do it with the humans, they go in on it like way too hard.
Right.
And it's just not funny.
And that's gonna play into the wedding stuff, and oh boy.
yeah. I'm gonna touch on Agent Stone a little bit. I like Agent Stone.
Oh yeah, so
I liked Agent Stone in
that's actually a
Sonic
good
1.
segue because he's next, I
Yeah.
think. Because when
Yeah,
Robotnik
yeah.
obviously gets back to Earth, he calls his pods and his robots, and that leads into Agent Stone. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Agent Stone has probably been the most competent lackey that Eggman has had.
Yeah, we had
Like,
this conversation whether or not
yeah.
he's the best Eggman sidekick, which his competition isn't that bad. Snively had his moments sometimes in the comics and in the show, but he's basically
Yeah.
just Starscream.
I think the thing that kind of ruins it for me with Snively is that Snively wanted to get back at Eggman.
Right.
Whereas Agent Stone is just 100% all Eggman,
Yeah, he's a
ride or die.
loyalist. Like again, Snively is Starscream. He's literally someone who pretends to be loyal, but then he at some point
Yeah.
he just backstabs him. That and something I forget. Snively is related to Eggman. I almost forgot that.
Yeah, that's right. He's the nephew of Eggman.
Right. And then the other sidekicks, they don't really do much. They're not competent at all. Like the Sonic X robots, the cartoon robots.
I don't like those. Or
Yeah.
𝗂𝗵𝗏 or 𝗵𝗏𝗹, whatever
Don't
his
get
name
me
is.
started on Q-Bot and Orbot. We ain't gonna talk
Hate
about
those.
them. But yeah, Agent Stone is the most tolerable Eggman sidekick, and I think he works well with a human sidekick. You would think he'd be annoying, but I think they wrote him really well, and that's even taking in the fact that he's clearly like down bad for Mr. Eggman here.
Yeah, that and he's also
Yeah,
that's why they call him Agent Stone, because he's
Yeah.
lurking.
he's a part of
he's
the
under the
government.
radar.
Like, he has
Yeah.
access to files and stuff, and he gets really useful, especially towards the end of this movie.
Yeah.
So I won't lie, Agent Stone kind of grew on me. He kind of grew on me. I wouldn't call him like the best character ever, but he's fine.
He's fine for like a human character.
Yeah, and I think his voice, not his voice. I said voice actor. His actor. I think he replied to one of my comments too. On
Really?
Twitter.
I didn't hear
think
about
so.
this.
I gotta look for that, but he's very really active on Twitter. He's pretty nice. Nice guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
So yeah, Agent Stone's cool. So what does that lead into next? It's kind of hard thinking about what's next. I guess next we'll get to the dance party. Let's get to it. There's a
Oh,
big
boy.
dance party scene. So Sonic and Tails go to Siberia, this icy place. And I like this because it leads later into a great scene with Sonic snowboarding and fighting robots using snowballs to fight. That scene is so cool, and it's like the ice skate vibes are awesome. Unfortunately, they take a side quest detour where they stop at this Siberian cabin, and
Yeah.
I don't even remember what happens, but basically they're disguised and they want to chill and rest here, but the people figure out that they're crazy animals and they're like, oh, let's throw them in the fire. And instead of using his super speed or their powers to beat up these people and get the frick out of there, they decide, okay, let's challenge them to a dance battle. Tails, uses his knowledge
Yeah.
to challenge them to a dance battle, and it leads into a whole scene with Uptown Funk, and Tails pulls out this clone device out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's probably the only part of that segment where it explains how Tails has like that device,
Right.
like a cloning device, like holographic thing.
Right. He pulls out Shadow Clone Jutsu, the machine, and that scene was crazy when I first saw it.
Yeah.
I should put that Sonic GIF the dance in the chat. If you
I
haven't,
think-
please do.
Yeah, I think for me that's probably one of the low points of this film is the dance scene.
Oh, for sure.
Like that.
It is
'cause
legit
yeah.
a side quest. It
And I
serves
feel the team did that to kind of replicate the bar scene from the first film. They were like, okay, we got to have another bar scene.
I also
When they
think
could have used it for like Tails,
Right. that, and they do use it for Tails because clearly it's
They do,
used
yeah.
to bond for them to bond. Like obviously them dancing together and them talking afterwards, they bond over that. But it's just like the whole setup and everything around that is just a waste of time to me.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah, that's the common complaint when it comes to the film is that dance scene. They're like, hey, this is kind of wasting time. We want to see the action.
Yeah. The good news is, luckily, it negates a dance party ending, which I thought for sure we were gonna get.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's the biggest positive. Like we don't get a dance party ending, which oh boy,
Thank God it doesn't.
because we would have been seeing Knuckles dancing, which I guess do we talk about Knuckles now or later? Because
I mean, we can if you want.
he's big. He's a big part of this. Oh, I
Yeah.
almost forgot. Before we get to Knuckles, let's talk about voice work. That's something we haven't talked about. Sonic's voice actor and Tails' voice actor. So, how do y'all feel about Sonic's voice actor? I'm gonna let Konon go first on this.
Uh, I liked it a lot at first, but the more I hear it, I work at a movie theater, so the more I hear it, the more I hate it. It's like his delivery is really strong sometimes, and then some lines are just like it just sounds weird. Tails, I don't like her. Sorry. I'm sure there's a lot of what is she? She's from Sonic Colors, right?
She's from Boom. She started voicing Tails with Boom.
I was completely out of Sonic by then. I would prefer maybe Sonic Colors Tails then. Idris Elba, he's the best Knuckles since Sonic Adventure, probably. To me.
100%. We're gonna get to him. I'm gonna get to him. But yeah, what do you think, Andreas, voice actor wise?
Sonic, pretty decent, not bad. Like I would have screamed if I like heard Roger Craig Smith. I can't imagine. I cannot
Ben
imagine.
Makes Ben.
Yeah.
Just Roger makes Ben look like the best Sonic voice in years. That's the main reason people really love him. Because if Roger had been doing this movie, good lord, this movie would be cringe central.
Bro, that would be so funny.
Yeah,
in Sonic, he sounds like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, that would have been awful.
It would not have worked.
Because as much as talent,
to show the problem with Roger. Like he just does not. He sounds too old.
Yeah, he has. Roger belongs in other games, not Sonic games. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, he does not belong in Sonic games. Like, because he's voiced like Batman and stuff.
Yeah, he's talented. It's just that Sonic just doesn't fit him. But going back to Ben Schwartz, I think he's great. I can see why he would get a little annoying, especially with like the jokes that Sonic does.
Yeah.
But I think he's fine. He's not horrible compared to what we've gotten in the past. He's top. One of top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like him. He's all right. I originally was like, okay, he still doesn't sound like Game Sonic so bad, but but I've grown on him. He's grown on me. He's all right.
He's like the third best.
Yeah.
Tails
Tails
and Ryan unbeatable still to me, but
yeah, Tails. He was voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who, like you said, was Boom. She's not horrible. I like her. Not bad.
Yeah, the funny thing is, as much as I roast Sonic voice actors, I've never thought Tails had a terrible transition. Like, obviously, with the cringe lines he was given, that kind of hurt him a lot. And
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, with his writing, like they really did him dirty. So that's one reason why I don't like all of the voice actors combined. But in a vacuum, Tails' voice actress, both times, Kate Higgins and Colleen, they've done a good job with what they've been given. I don't hate any of them too much. Like, obviously, I think it's not the perfect Tails voice. I think, honestly, his 4Kids voice is very spot on.
Yeah, I guess
to retract that statement.
What?
She's not bad. It's just like Nux said. It's her lines.
Right.
Like the whole only Sonic the Hedgehog could blink. Kept saying that.
Oh,
wasn't.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah, that I will say. I will agree to that was a little weird that he kept saying only Sonic the Hedgehog would do this and that, and it's just like, okay, Tails, we get it.
That, and especially since you barely know him, you only know him because you stalked him.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Like chill.
Yeah.
But Colleen was fine. Idris, I loved Idris. Like that dude, that like Knuckles.
It's not.
He
even
did
a question.
spot on.
He's the best Knuckles voice since the Avengers.
Oh yeah,
Knuckles voice.
Yeah,
and I think even the most casual people agree on that.
Yeah, it's just he just did a really good job.
Like, I just think his voice in the Colors era is bad, like legitimately bad. It does not that it's a bad voice, but that it does not fit Knuckles at all. It doesn't. It doesn't fit him.
Yeah, it's most of it is the direction.
Right.
Sega tells these guys to like sound like previous voice actors,
but even
and it just sounds like very weird.
His voice actor, his Colors era voice actor, to sound better in voices, like to do it deeper, to be more chill with it. It didn't work for me. So I think he was always a miscast in my opinion. No disrespect to the voice
Yeah.
actor, but he was a miscast in my opinion. Idris, now this is going to be interesting because this is going to tie into what I think about his character. Idris, I think his voice for Knuckles is okay. There's moments where he nails the character all right, but as we talked about in the chats, I feel like there are times where clearly they don't make Knuckles stupid. Thank God, he's not
Yeah.
Blue Knuckles where he can't tell left from right and he can't understand what's going on. But the problem is, I feel like the way they write Knuckles in this movie is they lean really hard on the whole tribal thing and the fact that he's isolated from society. Like, it's to the point where he feels caveman, like, at times.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
Andreas what he thought of that.
I mean, I liked it because here's the thing. It doesn't make him stupid. He's not stupid. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And that's the thing
ignorance
that
is not
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is that it makes sense because he is a character that does not interact with anybody. You know, he lost his parents, right? So he has no like social interactions. All he cares about is killing Sonic. So you're not going to make friends. He's going from place to place trying to find Sonic, and it's just like, okay, well, you're not gonna. He's not gonna be this like happy character with, you know, Tails smarts. You know, he knows like bare minimum, and that's about it.
Right.
I think I'm very happy because I was afraid that Knuckles was going to be like the dumb lackey to Eggman.
And
and
they
I was super
100%
worried
could
about
have
that.
done it like that. He could have been Blue Knuckles.
They could have.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But they clearly understand that Knuckles' initial rivalry with Sonic was very important, and it's a big part of his character.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things for me is that they didn't make him stupid. I was really, really afraid that they were going to make this dude stupid, that he was gonna like they were gonna give him a plate of food and he was gonna smear it all over his face. he wasn't gonna fucking know left from right. You know, like he was gonna be tripping on his shoelaces, just the most nonsensical stuff. And I'm just like, oh god, yeah, it's just. I'm very glad that they made him more naive than an idiot. Because he's not an idiot, you know. They didn't write him that way. Originally, they didn't. In Sonic 3, they're just like, he's not very bright.
Even in the games, in his original appearances, he has some of that ignorance. Like, there are jokes, you know, Rouge makes fun of him because he doesn't understand some of her humor. Because he's, like, not accustomed to it. And there are moments like Sonic and Co. pick on him because he's clearly isolated from their world.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Like, you should at least know like basic English.
Right. And yeah, that is the problem. Like, he feel a bit Starfire at points, to the point where he's like, oh, like, what is the base of ball? Stuff like that.
Dishonor.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be like a Zuko joke or something? Like,
I don't know. But it's funny. It spawned great memes, so I'm not even mad.
I mean, I have to hear that like 5 times a day at my job. Like 5. Well, I work only like 4 days a week, so.
Yeah.
But I hear it a lot. It's pretty annoying.
So I can understand why, you know, parts of him aren't perfect, but I think he's the best he's been in years, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree to that. He's been given the shaft in previous games, and I'm happy that at least in the film,
the whole Colors era,
serious.
everyone has been given the shaft one way or another, which makes it it's going to be interesting how they keep up this momentum. But let's get back to the story before we continue with character shenanigans.
All right.
So we get to the Siberia clash. They find the temple, and this is where we get backstory stuff. You know, we learn that Echidnas made the Chaos Emeralds. They combined them into the Master Emerald, which again, that's one of those changes. Like, that's weird, but I'll allow it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It eliminates Knuckles from the Master Emerald as being the Guardian.
Right. And it makes sense because obviously collecting 7 whole MacGuffins for a 2-hour movie, that ain't happening.
Yeah, no.
So it makes sense to bundle them together into one thing. Now it's going to be interesting how they handle that in the sequels due to end events, but yeah, The Chaos Emeralds are in the Master Emerald, so they're kind of one singular objective right now. So they clash for a bit. Eggman, Knuckles, Sonic, Tails, they clash for a bit. And then we get this scene where we get more details on both Sonic and Knuckles' backstory. So Knuckles explains that from his perspective, basically, his tribe, they really wanted the emerald because they were desperate to expand. The Echidnas were already on the verge of extinction, kinda. Like they already were a small people, so they wanted the emerald so they could expand. But obviously the elves were like, nah, that's way too much power. So they fought over this, and there was a whole war, and that basically was responsible for wiping out the rest of the echidnas, the rest of the owls, and the final clash between Knuckles' father and his people with Longclaw is what led to both of their dooms. And that's what links Sonic and Knuckles. And I think that's actually really cool.
I do. I like that. I like how they wrote that. Yeah, it's not too complex.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Said it already earlier. Oh. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. In conclusion, I think that's really cool. Like, it's obviously it changes so much from the games, because in the games, Sonic and Knuckles are not connected at all. Besides the mural thing, the whole mural thing where there's a mural that looks like Sonic and Knuckles thinks maybe it's like a warning against him or something. But besides that, they have like no backstory connection other than, them meeting for the first time. So the fact that their backstories are this entwined in this universe is actually kind of cool.
Also, Baby Knuckles. Baby Knuckles.
And Knuckles' dad, which Penders was like, bruh.
Yeah, good luck with that lawsuit, man.
Yeah, Penders saw echidnas and he was ready.
Yeah.
I hate that man. He really thinks he just owns like major. Some ways he does, because Sega messed up the lawsuit. They didn't show up for the big lawsuit that gave him the rights to this stuff, and he just got it.
Yeah, total bumbling on Sega's part. Like, my God, it was both Sega and 𝗵𝗲𝗄.
Right. So it's the reason he has as much power as he does. Now, I don't think he's gonna be strong enough to step up to Paramount, maybe. But
yeah, there's no chance in that. Absolutely none.
But, yeah, Penders does have some ground, which is annoying. But where does that leave us next? Oh yeah, so obviously Eggman gets the map and stuff. One neat detail I like is that he notices that Sonic doesn't leave behind Tails. An interesting parallel to how Eggman tells him, "Oh, let's leave Agent Stone in the shop."
Yes, that's a nice touch right there.
Yeah, that was a nice little thing. Like, Knuckles literally notices, like, oh, so you're leaving your lackey behind, but you can see him looking very clearly at Sonic and how he goes back from Tails. So that's the first thing that tips him off, like, huh. And I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought the joke where he said, disloyal, and he was like, this how I roll, it was pretty stupid, but I laughed.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But yeah, so after that, again, this is where I draw a bit of a blank. Oh yeah, this leads to the wedding scene. Okay, so we can finally talk about the wedding plot more. And notice how we haven't mentioned it at all.
Yeah.
Even though it was set up much earlier. So, Tom and Maddie, where have they been this entire time? So, at the start of the movie, we learned that Maddie's sister, the bigger, I don't even remember, Rachel is her name.
Yeah, Rachel.
So we learned that she's getting married to this dude. And like, you just have no investment in that story at all throughout most of the movie. Like, we cut back to Tom, he's playing volleyball with them and losing, and Rachel's telling him, oh, don't screw up my wedding. Like, stuff like that, it's it makes sense, but you just don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like most people feel that way. The wedding subplot, it makes sense to give the human characters something to do, but obviously you don't care. But where things get crazy is they basically merge the plot points, because Sonic obviously needs to get away from this avalanche that's happening. So he has Tom use the ring, and he punches the groom in the face, by the way, which is funny.
Yeah, he mixes up the rings, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Wait.
The way that guy falls is just very comedic.
Did you see Angry Video Game Nerd's Sonic movie review?
No, I have not.
I have not, no.
He was like, why didn't he just use his words instead of just punching him? But he, like, the way he said it was pretty funny.
That
You gotta
that is
watch it.
fair. He 100% could have said it, like, "Oh, I mixed up the rings." That's literally all he needed to say. Like, because if they had
Yeah.
looked down, they would see themselves that he had the wrong ring.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, that was kind of goofy. But yeah, Sonic ends up at the wedding. So the craziest thing happens. So we get the introduction of Gun, but how we get it is that we learn that literally the entire wedding's guests, every single one besides JoJo and some other people, were gun agents. Even the freaking priest were gun agents on standby, and they have cages for Sonic ready. They take him away, and they say, "Yep, we're in control now." And then we learn even the groom was a gun agent.
Yeah.
Plot hole.
Like, that was really bad. Like, on one hand, I like how Gun is in the story, because they're a big part of the Sonic universe, whether, people like it or not. They're a major part of the Sonic universe. Probably the most important human faction, 100%. Besides, obviously, Eggman, if you count him as... He's not necessarily a human faction, but Gun is very important.
Yeah, I like how they introduced that. That was a nice plot twist. They could have easily screwed that up.
Right.
I'm glad they didn't.
Right, but the problem is it's a huge plot hole, because why on earth are they at the wedding, not knowing whether or not Sonic and Tails are there? Why on earth did they make the wedding fake? Like, how did they know Sonic and Tails were gonna come in through an avalanche? Like, that's the only thing that bothers me about how that was done. I think what would have made more sense is, yeah, the groom is still a gun agent, but the minute he sees Sonic and Tails, he calls them in, lets them know they're here, and then they pull up.
So what's interesting to note
Yeah.
is that Eggman, in the earlier scene with Agent Stone and Knuckles, where that ... scene happened, forgot to mention that. That was pretty funny. But in that scene, Eggman is actually tapped into Sonic's phone. And he can read what Sonic is saying. And it's kind of vague whether or not Gun is affiliated with Eggman still. Because at the end of Sonic Movie 1, they said, "Oh, who are you talking about? Eggman does not exist."
Well, we know they don't want to acknowledge him because he's crazy on Rampage, chasing this blue hedgehog.
Yeah, but what's interesting to know is that this is way later in the film of Movie 2, is that the gun commander says, "We removed your funding." Like, I don't know if that was a joke or if that was part of the plot.
Clearly, they 100% funded him, because he had to get his robots from somewhere, or at least the tech parts for them. So we know for sure Gun was funding him. But it's weird because we don't get much on the relationship between the government, Gun, and Robotnik per se.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting to note that Eggman also has satellites on Earth. So that's kind of an interesting detail as well.
Which you could argue is maybe his quote-unquote death.
Who knows?
I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so that's going to be the end of that. Sonic and Tails get captured, and then we get... Oh, yeah, Konon?
Big plot hole was that having a...
Right. It's dumb. Let's not hard. So that is big. A big... See that we get a dead Rachel. Not only rescuing Sonic, but going after what's his name? Randall, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And we get a whole segment of her being mad at him, and they play the song that was used in the final. Ironic. I find it ironic between those movie 1 and the Harley Quinn movie. I found that hilarious. But yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. I just didn't like it. It's not absolutely terrible, because again, I like how Gun plays a factor into the story, and there's even the part the guy dead.
that dude
He
had
died.
to be, but he didn't. He didn't. One critique that this film and its humans and Gun specifically is the gun commander. He's very goofy as a gun commander.
Right,
and you wouldn't
a far
expect
cry
that
from the game one.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect that because the soldier in Sonic Movie 1 is more serious than the gun commander.
Right.
So that's a little weird. But you know, I'll let it slide.
I think he was perfect casting for the gun commander.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, he's being in like bad stuff because he was in the bad movie and era bad seasons.
Oh my god.
Let me not get into that though. That's a whole other tangent. Whew. But yeah, it's so weird.
I think something else to kind of note. I don't know if this will be a big like issue in movie 3, but none of the gun like soldiers use guns. They use tasers.
Well, yeah,
which is a little weird.
That's the whole kids movie film.
That might be the PG
uses,
rating.
Like, either lasers, tasers, or
yeah.
That's that '90s cartoon censor type beat. Like for example, in the Ninja Turtles cartoons, obviously they can't fight people with guns. They're actually using they fight people, but they don't use their weapons often. So, like, that's that '90s cartoon type sense.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just something that I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, I noticed, but I didn't lose too much sleep at that. I don't think it matters too much anyway. Obviously, it might play a factor later.
Yeah, I think it might. Who knows?
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but
lethal stuff exists in this universe because the Eggman robots use bullets.
That's true. Yeah.
At least in the first movie, we know they did. I think in movie 2 they use lasers, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we know for sure that Eggman robots use bullets. But yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, where does that even leave us? Oh yeah, and Knuckles. And that labyrinth,
yeah,
actually one of the coolest parts of the movie.
Yeah, it's highlights of the film. Like one of the top highlights of the film.
The entire labyrinth zone part was like just fire. Like that's where the movie, obviously that last scene could be argued as a real. As a little feels even more pointless. At least the Rachel stuff was connected with Gun. So,
yeah, I mean, I as much as people critique the human parts of like the wedding, I don't think it was that bad because consider what we got in Sonic Movie 1 with the humans.
Yeah.
it at least Sonic Movie 2 had the humans intertwined with the story.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's mainly thanks to the element and all that stuff. But the dance party was useless. But yeah.
I also. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, what are you gonna say?
Say also. Interact with in the song, bring out and running together like traversing. It's nice.
I wish we games. We don't really know how Knuckles and Eggman really interacted in the games behind the scenes while they were messing with Sonic and Tails.
Yeah, I like that.
So we see that in the movie. We see they travel through the zones themselves too. Knuckles uses his strength to get through stuff while Eggman uses his brains. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, really nice.
I think it's neat.
Yeah.
Something I noticed is they reference this in that section. Part where he slides down, like what gives it big pointer to it being lab is when the water he literally does like his little like sliding animation from the game.
Yeah, that was nice.
Which is funny. Like they do a lot of game references in this. Like they wanted to go full game here, which I loved. Like that's what we needed in movie. And then we get to the Sonic versus Knuckles fight. Also good. I wouldn't call it the best fight ever because and I feel like I've seen better fights, but it was a good fight for what this movie was.
We'll say one of the best.
Yeah, because we
don't get to see that
fight much.
Yeah,
sadly. But we actually get to see Knuckles and Sonic fight, which is cool. You know, Sonic like bodies Knuckles with spin dashes, and
Yeah.
like that's like I love this movie. He does not hold back. I like how they did not hold back with Knuckles punching Sonic. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
that was
one
a nice
reason we
detail.
don't see much fighting is they don't want the characters to beat each other up too much. Maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
Sometimes
Maybe, but
they're
yeah.
weird with that, but here, nah. Knuckles was beating Sonic the whole movie, and
Yeah.
he was about to hit him with the Sonic Battle Rock Smash move. I don't think that was a reference, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh god, he's about to use that broken move. So you know it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, that's where Knuckles realizes he got tricked, and Eggman takes the Master Emerald.
Yeah, he becomes one with the Emerald. Probably one of the first times that a human can absorb chaos energy.
Yeah,
which
we
is kind of
basically
interesting.
get Super Eggman. Now, when I saw this in the trailers and stuff, I was mixed. I'm like, okay, I don't know how I feel about Super Eggman potentially being the final thing. Like, it is kind of weird because Jim Carrey goes full Jim Carrey when he gets the Emerald.
Yeah, he does.
True.
He turns green and he just goes crazy. It's funny. He even teleports back to Agent Stone just to let him know he got the emerald and helps him out from getting captured. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think the highlight for that is when Eggman starts disassembling everything in his path to
Right.
make the Death Egg
Yeah.
robot.
Right, and that obviously leads to the big finale, the real big finale. Like, for a second, I was scared, you know, they were literally just gonna fight Jim Carrey. I was like, okay, that would be kind of weird. But
Yeah.
obviously, what he does is he uses it to create the Death Egg robot, which makes sense, because I feel like it makes, you know, it's cooler when he builds his stuff naturally, but obviously it makes sense that he would use the emeralds to build some of his worst weapons. And
It makes sense,
the
yeah.
Death Egg robot definitely is there. It's still kind of sad we don't get the Death Egg robot on the Death Egg, but I think it works here.
It does. It does. It makes sense for the setting that it's in.
That
You
is
know.
the Death Egg robot, the thing that's been overused to death. So
Yes. Yeah. That and the Death Egg robot in this film is massive.
oh
like,
yeah, it's
compared to
big,
everything
much
else.
bigger. It's
huge.
a whole. It's like bigger than the Megazord. It's like a bulky version of it. It's a big boy.
Yeah, very similar to Sonic Force's Death Egg robots.
Yeah, the bigger ones. Those were kind of chunky too. But yeah, he uses it in rampages, which I think is cool. That's gonna. One thing I like is I like how he even has like a world domination playlist on standby, and that's a good transition into music because I feel like a lot of people don't talk much. Some people do, but a lot of people don't talk about the music of these movies. And I'm gonna use this to say I think the movie they really dropped the ball music wise. Like there's some of the score is all right, but man, do they waste the actual Sonic music opportunities.
You know, I would agree, but the thing is, Sega is so sloppy with music rights
Oh yeah, we know
that
that.
I am not surprised that they did not go with any music.
But
So I'll
it's
cut them some
dumb
slack
though
on
because
that.
it's not like Sonic music is not referenced because Green Hill, the original Green Hill theme is throughout these movies. Like it's his ringtone. We hear it in the background in a few scenes.
That's true, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and probably one of the most infamous copyrighted songs they have. It's the first level theme, but it's owned by some guy, Nakamura.
Yeah, Masato Nakamura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know he's like hell bent on milking that song to try and
Oh
use
my
it when he
God.
start his career.
Yeah, what a mess. I want to mention we forgot to talk about how Knuckles befriends Sonic.
Oh, we did skip over that.
Yeah, like a huge boulder falls on Knuckles and the place starts flooding. And, you know, Sonic rescues Knuckles. He absorbs a little, like, air bubble
Yeah,
away in
another
the
game
games.
reference, yeah.
And they become friends.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that bit.
Yeah,
That bit
that's
was
important
nice.
because that's how they become friends. And we know that they even talk about their background, like, "Oh, we've been trying to kill each other this whole time. Why are we being friends?" And Sonic's like, "Well, I don't want to let you die. That's not my thing." which is kind of funny when we think about the finale with him and Eggman. But
Yeah.
because that's something someone pointed out. Like, do you ever think about the fact that Sonic let him fall? Like, he actually would have let Jim Carrey Eggman die. And it's kind of funny because that's kind of how it is in the game. Sonic does not care about Eggman's life.
No, he does not.
Die.
No, this man. Yeah, this man was about to punch the lights out of him at the beginning of the film.
Right.
When he knocked at the door of Sonic's
like,
house.
He is not afraid to let Eggman die, and I feel like that's obviously because in the games he's like he's obviously this crazy wacky scientist, so of course he's not gonna save him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't mess with morality too much because I feel like that would just make things complicated. Like, oh, Sonic has an arc where I don't kill people.
Yeah, that would be a huge mistake if they did that.
Weird. Like, he's not Batman. He's not Batman.
Yeah, I kind of feel they went with that route because, or at least my like theory to that, Carrey might want to retire.
Yeah, it's clear that they want to keep it ambiguous in case they want to let Agent Stone maybe be at the forefront or bring in a new villain or something.
Yeah. So I kind of feel that's why they made.
I don't 100% think they replace him either or get rid of Eggman altogether because I don't know if people would come back for freaking Agent Stone. But.
So that's the thing.
Are they gonna keep Jim Carrey for one more movie, or are they gonna do like a CGI robot Eggman?
That would probably be. We're gonna get to that when we get the movie free.
Oh boy, yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit ambiguous whether or not Jim Carrey will come back for Robotnik or not, and how that will tie in the movie free. It's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, that scene where he bonds with Sonic and Knuckles is great, and we even get a moment of Knuckles and Tails. We get a lot of Knuckles and Tails moments. I noticed, like we get a moment of him saying, "Oh, I'll get my revenge on you, Fox, for running me over."
Yeah, and that never happens. That he never got his revenge, which is I thought was a missed opportunity.
Some people presume the baseball game itself was the revenge, and that he beat Tails.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But yeah, I find that funny. We don't get many moments of Tails and Knuckles interacting. Some people say we get none in the games at all, which no. There's a moment in Sonic Heroes where Knuckles pokes fun at Tails for being afraid of ghosts.
Yeah, they've had their moments. They're not highlighted enough, though.
Right. Obviously, the moments with Sonic are more focused on. But I like how this movie didn't forget, their dynamic as a trio, which... Let's talk about that, because that's obviously the next thing. They team up.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked how they teamed up. Yeah, made sense.
Everyone said the Sonic Hero vibes were off the charts.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts is where they're on the tornado, and Sonic is coming up with this plan, and he's like, "Hey, Knuckles, like I want you to," and then Knuckles just jumps off the plane.
Right.
Like he just falls.
Which is something he would do.
He would do.
Might have even been a reference, because I think in Sonic X, they tried to come up with a plan, and Knuckles dipped.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think that was actually kind of accurate. I like that. And then the shot of them together, obviously, like the Sonic. I think even there was a little reference because he does an attack at some point. He throws Sonic and Tails, which is straight up the Sonic Heroes move.
Yeah. Something else I want to mention is the Death Egg robot is powered by Eggman.
Right.
He's the power source of it.
Right.
Which I thought was kind of interesting.
Right. It's still weird, with Super Carry and stuff like that, and obviously he mimics the robot's actions.
Yeah.
Which could get kind of weird and cringe at times with the snot rocket and stuff. It's okay.
I mean, I'll give them credit. That was a reference to Sonic 3. Because one of the robots in Sonic 3, and I think it was Death Egg, his nose is what fires flame. The final boss of Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm just happy that the Death Egg robot didn't floss.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That would have been hilarious. Okay, that one might have been a little more funnier than just Carrey doing it himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fight is pretty intense. So we get some cool stuff there. Where does it even go? I forget what happens, but yeah. So Tails and Knuckles break. They come up with this plan where Sonic distracts it, and Tails and Knuckles go in there. And I like this because it's basically uses Tails and Knuckles in the final battle. It lets them shine.
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't
was
go
nice.
game where it literally says, "Okay, Tails and Knuckles, y'all be cheerleaders and give me your energy, DBZ style, while I go fight Eggman."
Oh God, that would have been a mess.
Yeah, it clearly gives him something to do. And the scene that I love, Knuckles punches Eggman out of his super form.
Yeah,
I went
very
crazy
nice.
for that because like that felt like a big fu to Izuka for saying, "Oh, Knuckles didn't really punch Sonic out of his super form."
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, suck it, Izuka. I love that. But yeah, so they punch him out of super form. They fall out of the robot, and he's able to still get it going because apparently he still knows the programming, which makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Which is a very smart move. Makes sense for Eggman to do
Yeah,
that.
nice backup plan. So he goes for the Master Mode. Tom and Maddie help him out to get it since he's been getting whooped by the robot. And then we get the
Yeah.
scene, where he's like, "Oh no, we're gonna die." And
Yeah. The
I do kind of wonder, why didn't Tails and Knuckles kind of come in there? Like, I feel like they could have helped there. they kind of disappear for a minute.
Yeah, they fall from the Death Egg
Yeah,
when
we
the
know
Death
they
Egg
do
fell.
fall, so
Yeah.
maybe they were like roughed up or something. But yeah, Sonic's about to get stomped on, and he has the Master Emerald. It breaks into the Chaos Emerald, and then
Yeah.
Super Sonic, baby. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was hyped for this one. Andreas can attest to that.
Yeah, a lot of people were hyped when they saw that. When
Yeah,
I went to go see it in the theater, people were screaming.
yeah, I was hyped. Okay,
Uh,
maybe not screaming, but I was
well, I know.
hyped.
Yeah, but people in my theater, they were screaming. I almost saw a backflip. Like people,
Like
people were going
Forge.
wild.
Yeah, the Super Sonic scene was hype though. That was hype.
It
He
was,
just
yeah,
tears up the robot. It doesn't give him much of a fight, which makes sense. It's friggin' Super Sonic, but it's awesome just seeing him tear it up. And he does an '06 reference with the foot tap. So
yeah. I think a badass moment for that was when he uses the Death Egg to punch Sonic, and Sonic just kind of holds it with his hand.
yeah, that's a
Like that
reference
scene
too.
was
I
really
think
cool.
that's a reference to Sonic
Mm.
X. I think it is because that Eggman punches Super Sonic at some point in Sonic X, and he does stop it. So that
Oh,
might
okay.
be a reference. But
I don't remember that, but
I'm
yeah,
not 100% sure, but I know he's done something similar to that for sure. But yeah, like Super Sonic was great.
he was. Yeah, very, very good.
And then
How he
obviously
destroyed
that
the
leads to the
robot.
Eggman fall, and then they tease like this thing where like stop, he has the emerald, he might get corrupted by its power or something like that. I was
Yeah,
wondering if that was
Knuckles.
a reference to like the freaking comics because the comics have this thing where if you use the emeralds extensively, you can like get corrupted by them. That's like a comics
Yeah,
thing.
that was a Fleetway comic from the UK.
Right.
They
So I
got
was
the
wondering,
UK.
were they
Yeah.
really about to tease the fact that if you use the emeralds too much, you go evil? So were we really about to get evil Sonic or something? Dark Sonic up in here?
No, I think that was just either a joke or a reference.
Right. Nah, Jonah would have been the one doing the backflip if Dark Sonic.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that they kind of were like, nope, just kidding. He teleports chili dogs and eats the chili dogs, and Knuckles gets like two chili dogs slammed in his face, which is kind of funny.
Right.
But
I like that. But yeah, so something a lot of people don't notice is he sends the Chaos Emeralds away.
he does,
So the
yeah,
Chaos Emeralds are now separate from the Master Emerald. So
yeah.
that's going to lead to a lot of movie free speculation. That's going to be really interesting.
I liked how they kind of hinted towards Knuckles' like purpose.
Yeah, well, he straight up like basically says
Yeah.
himself like we need to watch over the emeralds now.
Well, that and also the fact that Knuckles was the only one who repaired the Master Emerald,
Right,
just like the Echidnas did.
right. So it's very clear he's experienced with using these, or at least
Yeah,
has some knowledge of how to use them, which I found
yeah,
cool. So yeah, he says we need to be the guardians of these emeralds now, and we. I like how he specifically words it. We need to form our own new tribe, which I find hilarious. The idea that Team
yeah,
Sonic is just a
yeah.
tribe is just funny.
It is funny, yeah, but it's nice. I like that they reference that.
Yeah, but they clearly say they're a team now, so they do the fist bump. And some people say that's a reference because the positioning of their fist bump is the Sonic Heroes logo.
Yeah, that totally was a reference. That was definitely a reference to that. They did the research on this.
Yeah,
I'll give them
I love
props.
that. That's great. So that gets to Conan's favorite scene, the baseball scene.
Gross.
And that's obviously where the dad thing happens. Besides that, they play baseball, which some people are like, okay, why are they playing baseball? This scene kind of grew on me. I'm not gonna lie, this scene kind of grew on me.
So the baseball scene. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a nice callback to movie 1, which makes sense. He's playing baseball with people now.
Yeah, with friends.
We get to see good interactions between him, Knuckles, and Tails. So that scene kind of grew on me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I liked it. I would have preferred this than a dance number or like
for sure.
Anything else.
I even told Conan this. Like, I would have taken this over a dance party ending in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like if I saw like Sonic teaching Knuckles how to floss, I would have.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like the baseball scene was kind of rushed.
Yeah, you could argue it could be
like,
but I feel like it's just due to the nature of the movie. Like, this movie has so much happening.
Like, the more you see it, like, the delivery of each line is like...
Yeah, some of the lines that were kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Like the black girl, the same hand movement, like, it's a game. We get it.
The dog is on the field too.
That's funny. I remember seeing like people on Twitter saying, "Oh my God, Sonic like abandoned the dog."
Right, the dog disappears during the Knuckles fight scene. It's like, where was he? I guess he got out of there. He got spooked by hearing the shenanigans, and he just came back around. Poor 𝗁𝗲𝗄𝗃.
Yeah, that dog had his own adventure.
Yeah. I do kind of find it funny Sonic has a friendship with a dog, though. Like, just a real dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, that's the end of the movie. They almost leave the Master Emerald behind, which I find kind of groaning because, bruh, Knuckles, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's already been the Master Emerald Guardian, and he's already failing, even in this universe.
Yeah.
Luckily, Sonic remembers it, though, so yeah, they keep the Master Emerald. But yeah, credits. That leads to credits. We get the 𝗃𝗶𝗃𝗀 song.
They played the worst song I've ever heard. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the worst, but I don't like it.
Nah, Conan, you have that in your playlist. Don't lie to me.
Never.
I will say it's better than Speed Me Up. Speed Me Up is...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would rather hear Speed Me Up 100 times on repeat.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. I don't believe that at all.
The White Rapper's verse and, like, Wiz forced verse, that was bad. Stars in the Sky, at least there's something going on there, bro, with the melody, but...
Even Little Uzi's song on Detective Pikachu, I'd rather hear that.
Oh, I remember you said that, the Little Uzi song on Detective... No, that song was trash.
What was it, with the Honest Boys? Isn't it like K-pop or something?
That song was garbage.
Bro, I'd rather hear that than Kid Cudi.
Nah, Stars in the Sky beats that. But yeah, the song plays. We get the animated credits thing. So now, another big boy moment, folks. We get the post-credit scene. So we cut to, obviously they tease, whether or not Eggman is dead. We see Agent Stone dressed as a gun agent, which could play in the movie 3.
Yep.
Very interesting stuff there. But then we get the bombshell. Shadow. There he is, boys. They say 50 years ago there was a Project Shadow. We found it while looking in Robotnik's files specifically. And he's there. And my theater, I did get some reactions in my theater when he showed up. Like, people were like, oh, Shadow!
Yeah, people...
No screaming or anything crazy, like some of the reactions on YouTube. Because some people went ballistic on YouTube.
I heard screaming in my theater. People went wild.
Yeah. They were like, oh my god, Shadow. Like, smash reaction to your reactions.
I think what's kind of interesting is he is released from that pod.
Right.
So maybe Agent Stone did that already.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
We don't know, because again, the Tails post credit scene was in movie 2 itself.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's him coming to Earth. So maybe that'll be the opening of movie 3 or something.
When
But
people are walking out the theater, like I listen to them talking, and it just it's annoying to hear sometimes. Like I saw one kid, he was like Shadow's next. He's like the opposite of Sonic. He makes things go slower, and I was like, that's like the worst way to describe Shadow.
Hey, a little Timmy isn't too far off. He wasn't too far off. You got to give him props. That's better than some people who'd be like, "Oh, Shadow's
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's
yeah, let's go."
yeah, that's
Yeah,
better
all
than
the
some
moms say
grown
that.
man.
True.
Hey,
Yeah, that's better than some grown
let
man.
Timmy have his head cannons.
All the moms say he's just dark Sonic. I was like, well, okay.
I think my mom said that. So I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah, it's just funny to hear.
Yeah, it is
Like,
kind of.
like as a
Oh yeah,
person that's
the
a
Metal
big
Sonic
fan,
fan. So
what
I
do you
gotta
say?
talk about that. Because on Twitter there was a debate as to whether who would be the post-credit scene. Like, would they tease Shadow so soon, or would they tease Amy or Metal Sonic? Nah, it was Shadow. Metal Sonic fans were in their feelings, bro.
I'm salty.
Nah, Metal Sonic is cool and all, but he is just a plank.
We
He
talked
does not
about
have
this in the
anything.
chat.
Same
Like,
same thing I said to Nux. I said they could
Yeah.
have did Terminator jokes. They could have did Siri jokes,
Alexa
Alexa
jokes.
jokes.
Oh my god, no, I can't
Could've-
imagine that.
but the problem is
Could've
he
made
just
Metal
doesn't
Sonic
talk.
talk.
He's not a
No,
being
he can
known
talk,
for.
though.
Yeah, he can talk, but he's not a being known for talking, having development. Like, he has some stuff. I talked about this with Andrés. He has some development in the OVA where, like, he clearly has, like, some feelings. He has inferiority complex, but they don't go too far with that stuff because he's one of the most iconic Sonic villains. Like, if you
Yeah.
if you develop him too much, he might end up like Jem-El and M-El where he's good, but you can't do that.
I mean,
he's
they
a
made
big
Sonic a loner, so I think Metal Sonic can talk.
Yeah. They
I mean, the
could
way, yeah,
do something with him. Yeah.
the way I see Metal Sonic in terms of like a headcanon, because it is implied, but the way I see it is Metal Sonic was programmed by Eggman, and Eggman like specifically said, "You are Sonic," and that's why Metal Sonic has this tirade against Sonic.
Right.
To where he's like hardwired to believe that he is Sonic and he's better than
That makes sense because
you know.
he even plays with that in the Sonic Heroes where he clearly thinks he's
Yeah.
Sonic.
Even in the OVA, like that stuff is like
Yeah, that's like a
implied.
big point of his character. So I wouldn't say Metal Sonic has no moments like that.
Yeah. So
It's just
my
compared
yeah.
to Shadow, who has like layers
Yeah.
and layers.
my theory here, or like the way I think that they're gonna do like movie 3. Like I don't want to segue too much into speculation now,
Oh, we
but
can.
I'm just gonna
We're
say,
done with the movie too, anyway.
Yeah,
So.
we might
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say that maybe the two characters that will be introduced in movie 3 will probably be Shadow and Metal Sonic.
Yeah. See,
And that
I
Metal
would say-
Sonic,
Let me drop
Yeah.
my theory now because I came up with this. So I would 100% think Metal Sonic would make this for the movie 3 final boss. You know, like maybe Eggman or Agent Stone is an antagonist next with Shadow, and as they're antagonizing Sonic and Co. But I think Metal Sonic makes a lot of sense to be the final boss because what I think he could do is steal BioLizard's world, where he's the true ultimate life form prototype. Because Metal Sonic would make so much more sense as a prototype than BioLizard.
yeah, it would make sense.
Like, I'm an SA2, SA1 diehard, everyone knows this, but BioLizard always felt strange to me as like the ultimate life form prototype. So Metal would make a lot of sense.
And it would make sense.
It would kind of take away that connection to Sonic specifically. Maybe you could argue that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but if he's gonna be a final boss anyway, I mean.
So the way I see it is, if Gerald does exist in this film, which he might, we never know.
Oh, I
because
think
the way
they'll
they,
fight
yeah.
Gerald or something. For
Yeah.
Sure,
So
'cause- yeah.
so the way you say about prototype, like I totally agree with how Gerald would make like a prototype hedgehog, but he would do it with a robot first to test out like speed, like all that type of stuff. He would do it. And then, like,
The
as he's
Eggman painted blue.
and as like he's doing all his experiments, he comes up with Shadow, and then the government is like,
Who's
nah,
obviously,
firing squad.
a bio firing squad. Oh, we're gonna get to that, like whether or not the dark elements of Shadow's backstory will be. I will say this for sure: we're not getting anything with the Black Arms or Black Doom. They're definitely
Ew, no.
Theory though.
Yeah, they're going
Wait,
straight to the
what?
Shadow Realm.
I gotta tell you my theory.
All right,
Go
let's hear
ahead.
Conan.
Yeah, go ahead.
You think Maria will be Black Wife's great grandmother or aunt, whatever? You know,
Huh?
she's related to her.
What? No.
Then Shadow's
no.
gonna kidnap her because she looks like.
Oh my god.
Why?
She looked
You know-
That's horrible.
You know,
Sonic is like, you kidnapped my mom, and like that's the whole plot. I
What?
think that's
You
gonna
know,
happen.
that wouldn't be out of the question.
Now that
And
you
the
say
reason,
it, but it sounds
you know,
bad.
Conan, actually, you know what? That
my
doesn't
God.
sound out of the question because that could work with JoJo. That
No.
he could, like, kidnap
oh my
JoJo,
God.
and
No.
and you would
They made
tie the
JoJo
humans
to
that
Maria.
way.
No. I hate both of y'all now.
Hey,
No.
who's JoJo? Oh, the daughter.
The girl. Yeah, she's I forget. I think
Oh,
she's Rachel's
see?
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would do that. Oh my God. Bro,
That'd be funny.
Sonic movie team, if you're watching this, don't do me like that, please.
Nugs, I told you this theory already. Remember in the chat?
You didn't tie it. We didn't tie it to JoJo and stuff though. That's crazy.
Not JoJo, but remember I said it would be the Black Wife's like relative.
Right. That's crazy. That is so crazy. They would do something like that. Wow.
They would, yeah.
What I was
They totally
thinking
would.
Is my theories for how they would do Maria is either they keep her backstory mostly the same, but they just don't lean on how she died too much. They say, oh, maybe she died in an explosion, or maybe she died off screen, or from natural causes. Like she wasn't able to cure her disease in time, so she died from that. Like,
Yeah. I think that if they did have Maria, they would probably do it with the way that the SA2 had it, but I don't think they would show her getting shot.
100%.
Because they would not show it. They would cut from it.
Man, they have some balls.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would because it's a kids film.
I would praise it.
Yeah, yeah, I would too.
I would crazy too. In the theater, like,
yeah.
Why are you praising this little girl?
Yeah, I would too. But the thing is that because it's probably locked under a PG rating, they can't do that stuff.
Yeah, I think they will not do it. My
But,
other theory was that Maria is actually going to exist during modern times, and she's going to straight up be by Shadow's side. She's going to be kind of the thing that balances him out in the modern times, which that scares me because then that sets up potential for Maria to floss and be a
Oh God!
What would be his plot then?
Right.
Shadow's whole plot
'Cause
was that
he's
Maria
angry
told
she's
him
dead.
something that he didn't remember.
One theory I had is maybe she's still sick. So Eggman offers like a cure or offers the emeralds in exchange for fighting Sonic. That's like one theory.
That would be so basic.
Yeah,
but
it would
works.
be basic, but it's the Sonic movie universe, so.
I'm leaning towards more Conan's idea because that's something that they would totally do to tie
his
in.
Is more likely, 100%.
Yeah, to tie in like the humans because you would have to tie them to something, and what better way to tie them than with Rachel's daughter and Tom and Maddie?
Right.
That would make sense to me.
And Metal as the final boss. That's like a very likely one. Because
If Metal,
they'll definitely bring him at some point if they
Yeah.
get a chance.
If Metal was a thing in this, like if he was the second character to be introduced, I'm gonna assume that they're probably going to make him be like Metal Overlord, where he goes crazy. And
I don't know if they'll dive into that where he transforms into a giant monster, maybe.
So that's the thing is, I think that they would. Like he would go, hey, yeah, I think he would transform not into Metal Overlord. He would transform into something that would threaten Earth.
Right.
And
they need a big Earth level finale.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I think Shadow's gonna die in this film.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Is he gonna die like an SA2?
Yeah, I think so.
Better not. He
I
won't.
feel like
Yeah.
I don't want him. I'm mixed on Shadow's death these days. Sometimes I think it was a good thing. Sometimes I kind of like how they developed him. It's a
You
mixed
know why
bag.
I say that? You know why I say that? Because if people are going to compare Sonic movies to like the Spider-Man trilogy, one of the main characters in like the third
Yeah,
film
and they're
dies.
not touching Tails and Knuckles. They're not
Oh
touching.
no, no, and that's another thing is that I don't think that I can't imagine seeing Shadow living with Maddie and
That's
Tom
the, oh yeah,
with
we know
Knuckles and
we're not. They're
stuff.
not going in the attic.
Yeah,
He's not going in
yeah.
that attic. And if
So
he is,
yeah,
that would be cringe.
so I think that to have like a more like dramatic ending to a trilogy, they would have him die,
Right.
or they would have him die in an ambiguous way, like Eggman did in the second film.
Right. I think
I
for
don't think
sure
so.
that makes sense. That they keep Shadow's story like that. Either way, I would be fine with it because it's a different universe. Game universe Shadow's all right. So why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
And it could
I mean,
actually
me
end
and
him off pretty
Knuckles, not
strong.
Knuckles, me and Nux theory was that if Metal Sonic is in this movie, he would be sent to the animal world, and Metal Sonic would destroy that world, and Silver would be mad at Sonic for sending
Oh
Metal Sonic
right,
to
right.
go
I
back
had
in
a theory
time
that if they
and
do
have to
something
beat
with
Metal
Silver,
Sonic.
like the way to redo Silver is that have Silver mistake Metal Sonic for the world's destroyer
Uh,
Yeah.
that
instead of
would
the whole
imply
𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗃 trigger thing.
yeah, that would imply like a fourth movie, like
Right.
if anything.
Yeah.
But we
You
don't
know,
know if a fourth is going to happen. See, if I
I
don't
don't
think
think
Metal
so.
Sonic is in this, he would 100% be the next teaser. But the
Yeah,
problem is whether or not they'd get a fourth movie or a fifth or whatever.
yeah. So this is the question that I
I
want to
think
ask
they
both
will.
of y'all. If Metal Sonic is not the second character that they introduce, who do you think is more likely?
Obviously, Amy, because who? Well, see, if
Nobody.
we're talking villains, they don't have many options left. Because
If we're talking like any character in the
any,
Sonic
I think
series, yeah,
Amy is a big possibility because she's up there as one of the most popular characters. Like people say, she doesn't have as much power as Sonic and Co, which is true. She doesn't have as much power as Sonic. Tails is too iconic. Knuckles is very like Shadow. He rivals Sonic himself sometimes. Metal is a big loved antagonist. Eggman, obviously. Amy is up there. Like Amy, she's without question the most popular female Sonic character, and
yeah,
they would not. And the others are on the chopping block because Rouge, is Rouge. I would
yeah.
be very surprised if she makes it into the movie universe. And
I
then we have
mean, with
Blaze,
Amy, you have to automatically bring Metal Sonic, though.
right? And I feel
It's
like
like
Amy
Amy
can
can't
tie into
carry a
that.
movie.
And they can even do jokes with her, like have her do the stupid mistaking Sonic for Shadow thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I'd
could.
rather they tie Silver and Metal Sonic together.
Right. Obviously, that'd be more badass, but I think for sure Amy
Yeah,
is not off the table as much as people think. Like, I feel like people sleep on
yeah.
her.
I
Well,
think
she's on the table, but she can't carry a movie.
Right.
Oh no, no, she
She
cannot.
literally
No.
has no, like, major plot points to her story other than getting kidnapped by Metal Sonic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there's that whole
yeah,
Sonic CD dynamic. But besides that, like, Amy as a character, it doesn't bring much to the storytelling element. They could rewrite it so that she could, but I don't know.
But she's a princess.
or she's tied to Shadow or something, which would be like, ugh,
No.
ugh, don't do
yeah,
that. But yeah,
Only way I could see it if it's like Amy has something to do with the Flickies, and the Flickies are more important.
oh
And
yeah,
Metal
I'm
Sonic is
surprised we
like
haven't
doing
seen
something.
like a reference. Again, that's the problem with not seeing much of Sonic's world. We don't see the classic animal buddies.
Oh wait, what did they do? Sonic versus Gamma, Beta, and all the other ones. Like, cause they had Flickies
I don't
inside of
know
them,
if they
right?
get to the robot. It would be kind of funny if we see Omega.
it would be
I'm
interesting. Yeah,
100% convinced he would look like a transformer.
They have the
yeah,
Flickies in them, right?
Yeah, they have robots in them. They could do that. They could.
I feel like that could work, kind
But
of.
I don't know if they do that with Movie Free because Shadow already is a huge can of worms. He can
It's either Metal
carry a
Sonic or
movie.
Silver,
Yeah.
because they got nothing left.
Nah, that's territory. If they do movie 4, I think it'll be possible they get to Silver and Blaze, and maybe them. Other than
Yeah.
that, I don't think they'll touch anything else. The Chaotix, maybe they'll make it as cameos. Like, I don't think they'll get that far in the movie universe.
They need their own
Unless
TV show.
they're in the Knuckles spin-off show, which is another thing
Yeah.
we're going to get to.
Yeah.
Works.
And then, obviously, after that, we get into the Colors era, which, please God, I hope to God they don't touch the Colors era. Prem
I
said
don't
it
think
best.
so.
No.
The minute Wisp get into the movie universe, it's time to go.
Oh yeah, definitely. The minute we get
Or the Deadly
Zavok,
Six.
it's time to go.
Yeah.
The minute I see live-action Zavok, or it's time to go.
I don't think we're gonna get that far.
Yeah, thank God we won't.
No, I think the best case scenario for this is just a trilogy, especially based on like the box office. Like as of right now, box office is like
Those sales
200.
will decline because even Transformers,
yeah,
like
they're
although
yeah.
Transformers is weird because it still is getting movies. Like I think
Yeah,
around
they're-
6.
yeah. The Sonic movie box office sales are declining. They are. They're at 240 million
Okay,
worldwide.
then it'll definitely end at a trilogy, most likely.
Yeah, because I think Japan is left for this one to be released, and like some other minor parts.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
The other regions they been getting gimped on that. Obviously, Russia.
Yeah.
Everyone's hurting from that one.
Yeah,
And-
I think yeah,
And Sonic
probably
just does not exist in Japan.
yeah. So Japan is probably the only like saving grace that they have to getting to that 300 mark. Keep in mind that like the Sonic film 1 got to 306 million. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Sonic movie 2 won't get that high.
Gotcha.
Could be wrong on that though. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
People made it sound like it was gonna pass Detective Pikachu or something.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, and we know
Like
Mario
people have been
movie might
saying,
whip
this
up
is
too.
peak cinema.
Don't get me started on the Mario movie compare. Okay, that leads into a little tangent I want to throw in. Some people have been saying, bro, like, the Mario, it's got Sonic movie 2 is stomping on the Mario movie right now. Bro, you have no right to make fun of the Mario movie and Illumination for fart jokes and dance party endings when y'all literally have dance parties and bar fights and fart jokes in your movies. Come on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think
Oh.
the Mario movie might get crazier because there's the whole musical possibility and other stuff.
Dude, if they give Peach one good song, they're destroying Sonic. Easy.
Okay, movie sales wise, yeah, because the kids are gonna be all about that.
Yeah, they gotta do that Frozen, what is it called? Let It Go or whatever? Something like that.
Oh my god. See, it's a coin toss whether the Mario movie will beat it quality wise. Sales wise, I think they might stomp though.
Oh yeah, I think that based on how big Mario is,
Right.
I have
Mario
no doubt in my
naturally
mind.
already has an advantage. Then you have Illumination, who
yeah, you also got to keep.
they make
Yeah,
billion-dollar making movies.
yeah, they. I can totally see Sonic movie 1 and 2 being like stomped by the Mario movie, and that's not me being cynical. That's just me being realistic.
Right. Yeah.
Mario has such a huge impact in the world.
Yeah. Worship Sonic, Andreas. What you doing?
No, it's just facts. It's, Mario is like a cultural icon at this point.
Right.
Even
I'm trying my best to look objectively at it. Some people say I have a Nintendo bias because I roast Sonic so much, and I don't roast Nintendo often. Which
I mean, with Nintendo, Nintendo can be trash about certain things, but they know how to sell things.
Right.
They wouldn't
they're
be
smart
in
their own weird way.
Yeah, like
Sometimes.
like let's be real. If Nintendo had the same business moves that Sega's been doing, they wouldn't be like top company.
In Japan.
In Japan, like this is a company that has like an influence throughout the world at this point.
And again, there's stuff they're trash at, but Sega is just objectively trash at more stuff.
Yeah, and I think that Mario just kind of stomps on because of the fact that
the Mario brand, because the Mario brand, like besides stuff
huge.
like what they did with the RPGs, the Mario brand is just an unstoppable juggernaut. Like the momentum has never really 100% stopped, and like
Yeah,
flopped per se. Like there's no Mario game that has flopped as hard as like freaking what Lost World or Forces.
yeah. I
Unless you
think
want
the
to count like
reason.
what Hotel Mario and junk.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count. That's just them trying to be like trendy. But I think
Wait, are
what
they?
differentiates. Wait, what's that? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, what happened?
y'all cut out for me.
Oh, can you hear me? What I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Okay, there it
Okay.
is. I think I accidentally turned down my volume manager.
Oh, okay.
But could you repeat that?
Yeah. So I think the reason why Nintendo kind of stomps on like Sega entirely, or Mario specifically, is because like this might be like really trivial, but I'll try to make it seem like it makes sense. But Nintendo making a Mario Land like theme park, that says a lot,
Right.
because trying to come up with an amusement park is not an easy feat. Like you need to have billions to make sure that something like that is done, and it's done successfully. And they've done it successfully in Japan, to where we're getting
The
these like
U.S. one is
amusement
about to
parks.
open. It's about to
Yeah,
open
like
next
like
year.
we're getting one. Yeah, like we're getting one here in LA, and we're getting one like Florida has one, I think. And I think that in itself shows that these guys know what they're doing
Yeah.
with the brand.
Yeah.
And I can't say the same thing for Sega. I might like Sonic and everything, but that I don't see that at all
Yeah,
with
they
Sonic.
can make some trash decisions. Sonic Origins is an example. Like, look at the
Yeah,
DLC chart crap. Like,
yeah,
Sonic Origins has stuff that looks great, but look at that chart and the Nouveau and all that. But
yeah.
I'm gonna have to stop the Nintendo versus Sega debate because that could be
Oh yeah, yeah,
its
yeah,
own discussion.
yeah.
So let's get to our last two. Last two would basically just be the Knuckles spin-off show and Sonic Prime. Now,
Right.
I was sitting on this specific point for to this moment. A lot of people have been speculating, like, what the heck is the Knuckles spin-off show gonna be about? Because I guess maybe it could take place before movie free or in between or after or something. Like, it's gonna be weird where it takes place in the movie universe canon. But I think what will happen is Knuckles will venture out on his own quest or something away from Sonic and Co.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I don't know what that'll mean for movie free, whether he'll be in it or not. I think he'll be in it a bit for sure.
So I don't know if you remember. I don't know how much you saw of Sonic X Nux, but one of the things that struck out to me about the spinoff is in Sonic X, um, they have like episodes dedicated to Knuckles
Right, right.
and
And
how
I
he
even said
be.
this
Yeah.
myself. Knuckles is not a part of their, technically not a part of the main group that lives with Chris.
Yeah.
Like Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Cream chill at Chris's place.
Yeah.
Knuckles goes out and does his own thing, mainly because of the Master Rule.
Yeah. And that's one and it wasn't just because of that either. Like he was just a loner
Yeah, he
in
treasure
Sonic X.
hunted and he
Yeah.
did stuff.
And I think that's how they're going to handle this Knuckles spin-off show. If anything, they're probably going to have him explore the world, and he's going to meet friends, like human friends,
Right.
and
No.
they're. I mean that I'm
Not
just
that
saying
it'll be
that's
good, but it'll
yeah
happen. It'll happen.
yeah I'm just saying that because that's how Sonic X handled it. And if they're going to reference a lot of Sonic X stuff in movies, I think that they're notes on Sonic X. Maybe not Thorndyke tier,
Oh no, they've
but
definitely been taking notes, and that's just
but
because Sonic X is like a big pillar of Sonic. Like people
yeah.
underestimate how like much of that series formed Sonic's world.
Yeah, and also the fact that it's the closest thing we have to like a movie in terms of interactions, like what
Right.
a director can take from
Besides stuff
and
like
look at.
Boom and stuff, but let's not talk
Oh yeah,
about that.
no one's looking at like no one's looking at that.
Right. But
Like
that's gonna bring me
yeah,
to something I forgot to mention, which is Chaos. So
yeah,
Chaos got kind of done dirty in the movie universe because now we know he was not responsible for the fall of the in this verse, and he's not inside the Master Emerald.
true.
So he kind of got did dirty because those are the two biggest points of his story. So people are wondering, is Chaos still gonna exist in this world?
It's too late.
Like,
Yeah, I think it's too late.
it's possible,
Yeah.
but they could write around it. They still could.
The only way that I could see them doing that is they do that with the Chaos Emeralds.
Right. They say that
Because,
he's connected to the
yeah,
Chaos Emeralds on their own.
yeah.
Or they do some flashback where they show him being released, but we just didn't see it or something. Or...
I don't know. I think if they do anything with Chaos and the Knuckles spinoff, it would be interesting to see. But I kind of think that it probably would have something to do with the Chaos Emeralds, since Sonic and Co. don't have them.
And Chaos is kind of like a big budget potential thing. Like, that's another thing we're sleeping on. Like, it's a live action spin-off CG show.
Yeah. My fingers are crossed, and I hope that they do not have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles go to school and do menial tasks.
Right.
And just
I want to see him do interesting stuff. It would be cool. Hopefully, we get more characters too in the Knuckles show. Like, it would be cool to see him beef with Rouge, because that's a big side thing. Him, Rouge stealing the emeralds and beefing with him. That would be perfect. And it would be nice to see like the Chaotix and stuff. But I don't think they will, because they only have so much for the budget.
I just hope there's a time skip and he stops saying dishonor and all that.
His language improves between movies. Andrés is voicing him, though, again in the show, so he'll probably speak pretty similar.
Yeah, he probably would.
Okay.
Well, he could improve, though. He could improve.
Do you think Sonic is going to be in Streets of Rage, since they got the rights to do the movie?
Yeah, a Streets of Rage movie got confirmed. That's kind of its own convo, too. But yeah, Streets of Rage movie was confirmed. People have been wondering if they're going to do like a Sega cinematic universe, and I say no.
No, I say no.
Is that what they wanted to do?
Maybe they'll do like cute little references, like, but I don't think it'll be crazy. Like, oh, they live in the same world or something like that.
No, I don't think Sega's big enough for that.
Yeah,
I've had this.
You can't connect all the Sega IPs in the same world.
I don't think. But yeah, you can.
Some of them, like there's a lot of realistic ones, like Jet Set Radio. You could easily say that's in another city. Nights, that you could easily say that's some Dream BS.
Beat and Sonic and Flock together.
Oh no! Crazy Taxi, yeah. Dang, you could connect them. Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh god, they could say Amigo is from Sonic's world. Oh lord.
Oh god.
Because if you say you want to make a cinematic universe, but you're only doing Sonic, that doesn't really make it a cinematic
Echo
universe.
is from Sonic's world. Okay, Echo might not be. Echo, they could, but his games get crazy with the aliens.
I had this discussion before. I think with
Persona definitely would not be in that universe, because Persona can get kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't think they'd want like non-kid-friendly Persona being in the same world with Sonic and Co.
Well,
yeah, that would be weird.
Can actually,
unless they gotta nerf Persona then.
No, because in Persona they humans don't actually see the demons. You have to be connected to that.
I guess.
Like Persona 5, they go to Mementos,
but it would be weird if they like keep a lot of the themes of Persona, where like a lot of mature stuff still happens, and then they reference casually that Sonic and Co still exists in that world.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. Yeah.
Because like people could make the joke as Sonic is flossing, all this crazy stuff is happening with Persona in Japan or wherever that game takes place.
True.
Then again, the MCU is like that because like the Netflix shows are canon now, and Daredevil has some dark stuff. So the Spider-Man: Homecoming takes place in the same world as freaking Daredevil. It's funny.
Could also like time where Sonic doesn't exist in that world, but he goes there.
True, it could be alternate.
It could work.
Alternate Earths, which would be kind of crazy if they did
that.
Yeah. And that's a good segue into Sonic Prime, because Sonic.
Oh my god, Sonic Prime!
More stuff.
Sonic Prime is done. Netflix laid off a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, Sonic Prime is in. Netflix laid off a bunch of people. Their animation has just been like.
That's just a mess. Sonic Prime is a mess.
We haven't seen it. It's being done by the studio that does the other Sonic cartoons, like the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff. That show is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is the they're still looking for animators for the show.
Which
Oh, really?
This
they
late, yeah,
sometimes they do still look for them even as
yeah,
things are well along, but it is kind of weird that we
yeah,
haven't not seen a peep of that show yet.
yeah.
I
I
saw a
can't
bunch of
see
Sonic fans arguing about the age rating.
what. I
Yeah,
mean
there was
that.
a controversy because apparently it's Y7, and some people
Yeah.
Oh
are
boy.
scared because like Y7, like why isn't it like Y12 or something? Like
Well, it's
people are
probably because
scared it's gonna be super kiddie.
well, yeah. Well, isn't the team like working on that known for making kiddie stuff?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
on paper, the cartoons themselves are kids' cartoons.
I don't know if
Obviously,
it's
stuff
true,
like
but
Ben
somebody
10
said
could get the dark stuff.
Avatar
Yeah,
has the same rating.
yeah, Avatar does. Avatar does. It's classified as a kids' cartoon, and we know Avatar can get dark.
Yeah.
That show like seeing the light of day. At least not now. Especially
Right.
with how good the movie is doing, and if they do a spin-off like next year, which
And ties into like
yeah.
how multimedia is taking over Sonic. Like that's a whole other video I need to do. So I'm not even gonna give my input on that. But yeah, there's a lot of debates as to whether multimedia is eating over the games.
I feel like
I
he
mean,
needs it.
yeah, I think he would.
Oh,
need
they
it.
need it because they're living
Yeah.
off of it right now.
They need it. Yeah, they need it if they want to keep his name relevant. Because I mean, the only reason why Sonic Movie 2 even got to 300 was because of the like early design. Like that made so much. People were just like, "Damn, we got to go see this film because it's cringe." You know, like it got so much bad publicity that people were
Yeah,
flocked.
and then it transitioned.
Yeah, yeah. But kind of Sonic Movie 2 didn't really have that. And also the fact that this film has been restricted in some territories,
Right.
which is a whole different,
Can of worms.
yeah.
But with that, I think we've touched on everything. We do have freelance talk, but so far our time is about to cross our longest episode here.
Yeah, pretty
So,
long.
I don't have much else to say anyway, so I guess any last thoughts on Sonic before we close out?
I mean, I think Sonic works better at this point as a multimedia like icon in terms of shows and in terms of like spin-offs. Like if they can carry this momentum onto like mini stuff, they can do it for a good maybe years. We've already done 3 years now. Sonic movie 1, 2, and now this Knuckles like spin-off next year. If they keep it up, I mean, it might be good. You never know. But the games are what are the most important. So, movie 3 is going to be very, very interesting when that's done. I think the scariest thing about movie 3 is having different castings. Like
Right.
different, like no Jim Carrey. Film, even though Paramount themselves stated that they were going to do a third film.
Well, they converted it, so I think it'll happen. But there's a lot
Yeah.
of worries whether stuff will be budgeted down,
Yeah,
whether Idris will return, whether Carrey will return, all that stuff.
yeah,
And
So-
even with movie 2, there was like some CGI stuff like that didn't look the best, but it wasn't terrible, but it could get worse.
yeah. I hope it doesn't. I was hoping that this film reached at least 300 million. That way, Paramount would see that, hey, maybe we should recast all these people.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I felt kind of weirded out that Jeff Fowler made a tweet like today or yesterday showing off the sets to Sonic Movie 2, and it almost seemed like a goodbye like thread. You know what I mean? Like he said it in such a way that it's just like,
I don't know if it would be a goodbye there, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
kind of. There are a lot of questions in the future.
yeah, it's weird. The reason why I say it's weird is because when Sonic Movie 1 was done, like Jeff Fowler in a week or two was like, no, we're making the second film. Like we're like that's happening.
Right.
But with this film, it's just very ambiguous, and I don't know.
And it is.
I can't.
It's
Yeah,
not impossible for that stuff to get like canceled somehow. Or something.
it's not. No. So to me, I think my biggest worry with movie 3, if it is made, which I'm pretty sure that it will, because Paramount themselves announced it in a thread. I think my biggest worry would be getting rid of Jeff Fowler and all these people and Jim Carrey.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
funnily enough, Carrey carries the film.
And we know for sure if these people go, like we're going right back to uncharted territory. Like
We're going back to square one. Yeah.
It'd be scary.
Yeah, we're going back to square
movie
one.
one design comes back with vengeance.
God.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. I guess there's a few more things we could have talked about, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Konon,
I'm pretty sure movie 3 is gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be the worst one.
Hopefully
I just
not.
don't see Shadow working with a family movie after you set up Sonic has a father and all that. Like, I don't see how you're gonna write that in.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very up in the air thing, and who knows if I see a PG-13 on this film, that's going to be interesting.
That would be surprising.
Like for movie 2, it worked because they had to go on a quest to get the Master Emerald. With Shadow, where are they gonna go?
Yeah, that's another debate. Like, how are we going to get more zones if there's not as much of a quest here? I think it could be a race to get the emeralds. That could still be a thing. I don't know if they'll do the eclipse cannon or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't.
So samey.
I don't think they'll do that, but
yeah,
I know the emeralds will play a role for sure. So it could be an emerald race, and there's still possible to get zones in there. Like they could do technically, what's the name? Radical Highway. They could do that technically.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a metal race, if it's an emerald race, you could definitely have Metal Sonic there.
Because again, SA2 is a game where a lot of the zones and locations are a little closer to real life.
Yeah, they are. They're like
that's the
almost to a
benefit
T.
of adapting the adventure games.
Yeah, I just hope that they keep the same team, because if they don't, then it's gonna be a mess.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. It's pretty interesting.
Same. So, I guess you tell the people where they can find you and plug your stuff, and we'll.
Well, I mean, me, I'm 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃. You could find me on Twitter. I make music like Sonic music videos, kind of maybe. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter.
Yeah, he does a lot of the aesthetic stuff, like the cool little aesthetic zone stuff. Not AMVs though.
No, not AMVs.
They're just you were on Twitter.
What's that?
I didn't know you were on Twitter.
Yeah, I make these little videos on Twitter. I have to work with like Twitter's like time limits because they don't like. I think it's like 2 minutes and 20 is like the length. So yeah, I just share music and tie it to like Sonic zones. But yeah.
About Dan, is he on Twitter?
No, of course not.
Damn. No, that dude is not.
Jonah too. Nah.
Oh, is Jonah not there? Okay.
No. Bro, that man can't even stay on Facebook.
Yeah,
No, Andrés is on Twitter.
Who, Andreas? Or me?
Andrés, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how you say it?
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was like always Andreas and Andrés, cause like
I'm Andres and Andreas is Andreas. Yeah.
Konon, plug your stuff.
First the year X, you guys know it.
It'll all
Usually.
be in the description, but that'll be the end of X.
All right, well, Nux, thanks for having me.
Yep.
Didn't expect this. It was fun to talk about Sonic.
Of course. So yeah, peace out, folks.